Happy anniversary, Go listeners. Can you believe we made it to episode 400 of the show? This week, we're celebrating our milestone by discussing what this podcast means to us as well as the community. We have a lot to talk about with the Summer Games Fest as well as the Xbox Bethesda Showcase, and you'll also hear our impressions of 3 new games, Mario Strikers Battle League on Switch, a puzzle game called Freshly Frosted, and a charming platformer called Super Perils of Baking. This is the Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to episode 400 of The Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community. It is Sunday, June 12th. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are my friends, Mr. Zack Parkerson. What's up?
Well, hey, happy E3, kind of.
I kind of lined up pretty well, right? E3
yes.
season.
I guess also happy us.
Yeah, 400 episodes. Also joining us, Mr. Chris Behrensmeyer. What's up, CB?
Hello, friends.
And also Miss Anime Lady herself, Alyssa White. How are you?
I'm okay, but better now that I'm with four of my favorite guys. I am not a guy. 3 of my favorite guys. I can't count.
Nate's here in spirit.
Yes, Nate's here in spirit. But, I mean, my miscounting goes with the episode number. So, I did not plan that.
Nice. Tied it back in.
Look at that. Nice recovery. Yes, if you guys listened to last week's episode, we switched episode 400 and 401 because we wanted to have all 4 of us here for the, what do you call it? Is it a centennial episode? I think that's more to do with years.
Would it be
quadrennial?
Quadrennial. Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, we don't normally get all 4 of us in a digital room together at one time, and episode 400 seemed like a good opportunity for us to go ahead and do that. So yes, I'm very excited. We got lots to talk about, specifically E3 season, as Zack alluded to, but some other news topics. It's going to be crazy. Lots of stuff to cover. Let's jump right into it with the games that we've been catching up on. CB, you've been gone a little bit longer than all of us. What have you been playing?
Lots and lots of Stardew Valley.
I thought you already played that. Are you?
So I wanted to play it a little bit more. I booted it up, and it turned out that my son deleted my save file.
Oh no!
So
he does that a lot
from scratch.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, get rid of this kid.
Well, I mean, he has his own Switch now, so I don't really have to worry about that anymore.
There you go.
But man, I forgot how much I love this game, and it's relaxing.
You know, I've never played it, but it sounds like I need it because I need some relaxation.
It is. It's very relaxing, unlike a game I'll be talking about in a little bit.
Okay.
Alyssa, what about you?
I am late to the party, like I always am, but I just started Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
All right. Are you in agreement with me that Zack would hate it as much as I said he would?
Well, since Zack hates Borderlands games, yes.
How's the writing?
I like it, and again, I'm not very far in. I just got to the overworld. Mm-hmm. So, it feels... I've never played Dungeons & Dragons either. I know, shame. But it feels like, you know, you're with your friends, and you got Tiny Tina narrating as the Dungeon Master.
Mm-hmm.
And then the jokes are just... I keep laughing. They're so funny. To me. And I don't laugh at jokes a lot. So, I like the humor in this.
We might have a disconnect on that.
I know. Not perfect
Zach, you should
match.
just go look up a YouTube video and just see some of the cutscenes.
Well, I liked what I saw of the trailers until characters started speaking.
Yeah. How do you liking the gameplay, though, Alyssa?
I really like it. The guns feel a little floaty, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. For me, I felt like I wasn't really doing anything. Like they just...
Yeah, it doesn't have impact.
Yeah.
I prefer... I picked to be a spore warden.
You have a little mushroom guy?
I don't have the mushroom guy yet.
And that's the class I chose as well, which is really weird that you chose the exact same class I did.
I went through them all. I'm like, this one looks the best to me.
So weird. What a random coincidence. But you're digging it?
So far, I am. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing your future thoughts on that because I'm only playing that one with one of my students. That's the only... I don't play it without him, and you know we don't play together a ton. So he actually asked me on the last day of school. He's like, Mr. Clark, when I go into 5th grade, can we still play Tiny Tina's together?
Aww.
Thought that was pretty cute. So
I will say, every time I open one of those unicorn crates, or are they supposed to be the queen butt stallion?
Yeah.
The noise scares me every time. It sounds like a scream. I'm like, oh! I'm like, oh, it's just a crate.
Yes, Butt Stallion is the
Queen Butt Stallion.
Butt Stallion was like a throwaway joke in Borderlands 2 that I thought made me laugh, and they actually brought the name back. So
I don't think I would like this game.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
For me, I picked up on recommendation Risk of Rain and Risk of Rain 2. Has anybody here played those games?
I have not.
No.
I think I played the first one many moons ago.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, my buddy Mike, just raves about these games, and they're roguelike, and they were on sale on Xbox, which means that they're going to show up on Xbox Game Pass next week. So just
It's the way
be
it
ready for
goes.
that.
Watch Scott rage out again.
Yeah, so I just fired it up without having any idea what I was doing, and I'm not loving it. The game does very little to give you a direction on what you're supposed to do, from what I gather. And Zach, you've played it a little bit back in the day, so maybe you can confirm or deny this.
Maybe.
But
Is this a 360 game or an Xbox One game?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it's very pixelated. It looks almost like
No, I
8-bit
understand.
graphics.
I was just trying to remember what year it
I think
came
it was
out.
on
That's all.
PS3 or PS4 as well.
Yeah, I think I did play a PS3 game called Risk of Rain and played it for 10 minutes and said nope.
Yeah, it's very platformy, but it's procedurally generated, 2D platforming areas, and the game doesn't tell you what to do. I didn't even realize I had weapons to fire until like my third run. I just was dodging enemies like, well, I'm going to get a weapon eventually, and then I realized there was a thing at the very bottom that was my weapons, like on each thing. So you run around this environment, you destroy enemies, they leave coins, which you can use to purchase randomly generated upgrades at these different stations. And the goal is to find the teleporter. Once you get to the teleporter, it activates a 90-second timer that you basically have to survive and get back to the teleporter before the timer runs out. So right off the bat, I don't like the timer aspect of it. So, but I don't know. I'm going to give it another shot. I'm not done with it by any means. I just barely scratched the surface, and I wasn't in a very good mood when I started playing it. So that's another reason as well. But Risk of Rain 2, I have heard, is in 3D, so it's kind of like the same formula, but in 3D. I think that might be a little bit more attractive to me, but I will see when I get there. I'll report back for sure. But Risk of Rain, I'm just waiting to see what's cool about it. If anybody could clue me in and tell me how I'm playing it wrong, I would appreciate it, because I'm failing to see what's awesome about it. But guess we'll find out. Well, anyway, that's the games we've been catching up on. Let's go ahead and jump into the week's news, because there's quite a bit of it. All right, here's what we got this week. Some new trailers, trailers for games called Death Wish Enforcers, Arkanoid Eternal Battle, System Shock, and The Plucky Squire. I'm sure we'll talk about those. Also, Xbox games will soon be able to be played on Samsung TVs without a console. That's pretty big news. We're apparently getting a Duke Nukem movie. Not sure how that's going to work, but there it is. Again, CB, you've been gone the longest. Which of those trailers or stories would you like to talk about?
Oh, man. Well, first off, I want to talk about this trailer for Death Wish Enforcers.
It looks great.
You know why it looks great?
Because it looks like Sunset Riders.
It is a clone of Sunset Riders set in the 1970s.
Yep, where you're playing a cop in the 70s. And for those who aren't familiar with Sunset Riders, seriously, go check it out. It's on Super Nintendo and Genesis. 2D shooter, think like a Metal Slug type game, but not army. It's just cowboys. Stupid fun. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I was watching this trailer, and one of the boss fights, I'm like, wait a second.
With my money.
And I was just like, this is a literal, like, shot-for-shot clone of Sunset Riders. And then I watched the rest, and I'm like, this is Sunset Riders on a modern console. I'm like, why?
It looks
great.
Like,
yeah, I think even like the menu select screen, everything.
Mm-hmm. Like even like because it's very arcadey. It's got the like press start to continue under the four slots, like like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did back in the day.
I want to play this so bad.
I don't know when it's coming though. The release date is to be determined, but it's coming to PlayStation and Switch. I have a feeling that's going to be a couch co-op session. You, me, Nate.
Oh yeah,
maybe Kevin. We have to all play that together. It just looks like a lot of fun.
There's a few of those games coming up that we're going to be doing that with.
Yeah, for sure. Zach, how about you? Anything stand out?
I mean, the Plucky Squire might have been one of the best things I saw at this E3 week.
I know. We're calling it E3
Oh,
week,
yeah.
even though it's not really E3, but
Well, I mean, we'll get to it later, but if Jeff had put on a better show, we might be calling it Key 3.
dude, I saw
Oh.
those t-shirts that
The
GameSpot made.
ones? Yeah, those are good.
Oh, they made T-shirts. I need to see the design.
They made a t-shirt that has like the GameSpot logo, like the O with the circle around it.
Mhm.
But they think they changed it to an E or something, and they spelled
No.
out.
Well, the GameSpot logo is a G with a circle around it. They just put it around the G of Key.
Oh,
Key,
thank you. There we
Keely's
go.
name.
They
Okay,
wrote
gotcha.
Key 3, like they took off the Y of Keeley and replaced it with a 3, and then the G is the actual GameSpot logo.
Okay,
It's-
gotcha.
It's well done.
Yeah.
But the Plucky Squire is a
Mhm.
2D platformer inside of a storybook, and you're like interacting with the words and stuff, and you go to like in the pages turn and stuff, which looked great on its own. But
Uh-huh.
then, which that would have been enough for me to be like, this is one of the coolest things this week. But then this freaking character goes to the edge of the page in the trailer and hops out of the book into the 3D world. And he's playing around in the toy chest and stuff.
It looks charming as all get out.
It does.
It's
That was
one of
awesome.
the trailers that grabbed my attention more than anything else, other than the big heavy hitters that we'll get to eventually. It looks great. Can't wait to play it.
It looks like a unique idea,
Mhm.
a rarity in this day and age.
Agreed. It's not 60 hours long.
Yeah.
We'll get to that as well too.
Oh, I'm sure that'll be a recurring theme, I think.
Alyssa?
The ability to play Xbox game on Samsung TVs.
Yeah,
I mean,
comes June 30th.
that's pretty major. I mean, I don't have one. I can't take advantage of that. But if you don't have a console, you could play it on your TV, but you have to buy the game digitally.
Or have Game Pass.
Yeah, or have Game Pass.
Like, just think about that possibility. You own a TV, you own a Samsung TV, you install the app, $15 a month without the purchase of a console, you can play anything on Game Pass or buy a game digitally.
Yeah, that's insane.
The future.
Well,
It's nuts.
I know you and I had this conversation that I think we're legitimately two generations away from not even having consoles anymore.
I mean, do we even
Yeah.
have generations at that point? Like, is it even a generation thing?
It's literally going to be like, oh, we're updating our UI.
Yeah.
I think I would be a lot less interested in games then.
You think so? Without a
But
console?
that's just because it wouldn't feel special. I don't know, because I also like the collector aspect of buying a game and stuff.
Oh,
Like if I said even in my early years of this podcast, like once physical goes away, most of my gaming is going with it.
Ooh,
Like that's just
scare me like that, man.
that's just how I am, man. Like it's just here. Like I read books physically, I need that disc. Even if
We're gonna be those old timers. Like, back in my day, we had to pick up these things called discs and put them into a console.
It's almost like a ritualistic aspect, man. Part of it. I don't know. I like it.
It still makes me sad because I know that day is coming.
I know.
But
Definitely, like I've been playing Final Fantasy X or whatever. I for the longest time I wanted to keep defending during a turn, but I didn't know how because the game doesn't teach you how, and it didn't come with a manual. But it was you had to press the triangle button, which is not how it works in every other Final Fantasy. But without a manual, I had no way of knowing. So I'm saying we need to bring back manuals, physical, etc.
I do miss manuals. I loved reading those.
I
Bring
only
it
loved
back.
reading them on the way home from the rental store. That was my time to read a manual because I couldn't wait to play the game, and I had something to entertain me until I got home to be able to put the game in my console.
what does make this interesting though is if it does just become an app like on a TV or another like streaming device,
Mhm.
I still think we're going to have kind of generations because like when new like TV technology comes out and they like update the UI like, ooh, we're going from 8K to 12K.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like, ooh, my 4K TV so out of date, I can't play these games at their best.
See, this whole thing is a ploy for Microsoft to get into the TV market. They're going to start selling
Oh,
TVs that are going to keep up with the game.
They
with the
probably
technology.
already are there.
Yeah. I mean, this really could be the whole point
Hey,
of all of this, honestly.
If I had a choice between any TV and a TV that says Xbox on it, I'll pick the one that says Xbox.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
yeah.
I mean, if it's optimized for the thing that I do the most on it, then yes, that's the one that's going to go in my basement.
It's going to be a TV that doesn't even play movies, it only plays games.
Well, I mean, you can watch movies through your Xbox.
Nope. Just not on your Xbox TV. You can't watch movies. It's only games.
So now I have to buy 2 TVs from Microsoft, one for my Xbox, and now we're getting just... It's just like when people complained about, like, I wish cable sucks. I wish I could just pay piecemeal for all these channels and stuff. And now we're there and everybody's complaining
We're
about
paying
it.
the same as we did for cable.
We're just redistributing that money to different places. But hey, at least sharing passwords is a thing, right?
Yeah.
TikTok.
I want to talk about another trailer. There's actually a couple. But I'll go ahead and mention the System Shock trailer. That actually released today at the PC Games Show. I've never played System Shock. And
I haven't either.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's kind of like the spiritual precursor to BioShock. Is that a fair assessment?
To my knowledge, yes.
It looks fantastic. It looks like a corridor shooter set in space. I want to play this game. And I was worried that since it was on the PC Game Show that it was only going to come to PC, but it is coming to Xbox and PlayStation as well. So I have been very excited for that, and that's the first look we got. I think it looks really, really good. So very cool there. Are we gonna talk about Duke Nukem?
That doesn't sound like there's much to talk about.
I'm legitimately worried because as much as I love the character in this day and age, that's going to be a real hard thing to pull off.
I don't know how you're going to do it.
I still think there's an angle. You make the main character his kid, and then he's this over the top action hero from back in the day, but now he's outdated, and he still acts like a complete a-hole. But our audience surrogate character thinks he's ridiculous.
Okay, I can see that.
But then you still have him, but then they have to go to the strip club for information, and Grandpa Duke goes over there. He's like, "Shake it, baby," and then the kid's like, "Yeah, come on." I think there's a way to approach it.
That would be pretty funny. And you have to have John St. John in this movie, right? In some capacity.
I guess as a cameo, he could be the strip club owner.
There you go. That would be pretty funny. I don't know. I just don't know how you're going to do it, but that's a really good idea, Zach. I think it's good.
Thanks.
Well, that's the news that we mentioned, but let's get into the real news of the week, and that is the Summer Games Fest, as well as the Xbox Bethesda Games Showcase. The Summer Games Fest was earlier this week. I believe it was on Thursday. The Xbox Bethesda Showcase was actually at noon today, Central Standard Time. So CB and I actually watched it together in his madhouse of a house with dogs and cats and kids crawling all over the place. But
we held hands. It was adorable.
Oh, how romantic!
He bought me €1. I had his little kitten on my shoulder. It was really cute.
Scott sent me a picture, by the way. It was very cute.
That was cute. Well, let's do this. I'm going to kind of run down just everything that was shown in the Summer Games Fest, and then I will circle around and everybody kind of talk about one that stood out to them the most, and kind of pick up the pieces in there, and then we'll do the repeat for the Xbox Bethesda show as well. So first off, The Last of Us Part 1 coming on September 2nd. Also a multiplayer title with a new story and characters, but we're not going to even get any more information on that until 2023. Street Fighter 6 was revealed, which we saw at the Sony State of Play, and Guile was featured as a character. I don't know why that was a big deal. Like, do we think Guile wasn't going to be in this game? Was he in 5?
No, but this is for a marketing campaign for a fighting game. All you have is your roster.
That's true. It's true. Also, we got a trailer for a game called Aliens Dark Descent. Saw a look at The Last of Us HBO series. Gameplay for the Callisto Protocol. Gameplay for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. A new game from Bloober called Layers of Fear.
Layers of Fears.
Layers of Fears? Is that what I did wrong?
Yeah, it's like the Alien to Aliens thing.
Okay, because I was watching the trailer. I'm like, this looks like a new game. I didn't understand it. So, Marvel's Midnight Suns. We also got Gotham Knights, a new trailer featuring Nightwing. We got another trailer for TMNT Shredder's Revenge, which has a new playable character in Casey Jones. Saints Row is offering a mode called Boss Factor. It's going to let you create your character before the game's launch. We got DLC for Cuphead called The Delicious Last Course. A new game called Neon White. We saw that Humankind is coming to the consoles on November 4th. A new game, Flashback 2, is coming in winter of 2022. Early access coming for a game called Witchfire that we heard about several years ago. New game starring Troy Baker and Roger Clark called Fort Solace. And a game called Routine. Looks like a cross between Alien Isolation and Terminator. I kind of assumed CB would be all over that. RTS from Frost Giant, the ex-Blizzard staff. It's an RTS. Surprise, surprise. We got a trailer for Goat Simulator 3, Warhammer 40k Darktide, High Water, One Piece Odyssey, Honkai Star Rail, and Zenless Zone Zero. Another game called Nightingale, Metal Hellsinger, Warframe. So we've got an open world expansion there. And lastly, American Arcadia. Alyssa, which of these stood out to you the most?
I know people expect me to say the Japanese games, but it's not those.
Wow.
I've got two I want to mention. First up, Fort Solace looks really interesting, but it didn't show a lot. But I like the setting, the atmosphere.
It. I liked it being one of the 18 sci-fi horror games of the show.
Yeah, that's true. But the one I'm most anticipating is one we've known about for a while, and that's the Callisto Protocol.
Same.
Seeing
Good
the gameplay,
taste.
it looks just like Dead Space. You got the health bar on the neck.
It's insane.
You stomp the enemies after you kill them to make sure they're dead. Gruesome death scene at the end of the clip they showed. And
with your character dying.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
was like,
that's,
holy cow.
That's tradition, right? Isaac Clarke
It
got
is, yeah.
mutilated in those games.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Not
just
that I
need
ever
more
died,
of that.
Obviously.
I need more
course.
Dead Space in my life, and since this was made by Glenn Schofield and the previous Dead Space team,
Right,
It just-
a huge helping of the visceral staff.
yes. It looks like it's going to scratch that itch I have.
And they're releasing this before the Dead Space remake, right?
Clutch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Clutch move.
Seriously. It just looks like there's so much more. It's even more gory than Dead Space 1 through 3. Like it looks a lot more visceral. I don't really understand the story. Something about a planet that's full of dead people or dead beings.
The dead
Yeah.
moon.
Yeah, it's a moon, not a planet.
Is it Callisto Moon of Jupiter? CB would know, right?
It is a moon of Jupiter, but this is not the same Callisto.
No.
Mm.
I thought it was a space base on Callisto. But anyway, it looks brutal, which I like. It is, like, the health bar on the neck is so funny.
It's just different enough.
Yeah.
Like, I would say, like, if I ran a YouTube channel, I would still be afraid of putting this on my channel because I might get copyright struck by EA. But it looks just like Dead Space. It's awesome. And I kind of like the full circle FU to EA by putting it out before the remake, considering they shut down your studio, ruined your franchise, and then are trying to get all this fanfare for remaking the game that they never want anything to do with anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And you get your game out first. It kind of feels like a nice double middle finger, which I appreciate.
It does.
I feel like we're going to have a, Jason Schreier chapter on this whole thing at some point in the future.
Oh yeah.
The next book, bring it on.
Pretty much.
I mean, I would love to hear the behind the scenes on this game because I would love to see what the PUBG connections originally were supposed to be.
Mhm.
Oh, I forgot about that. The
Yeah.
PUBG connection.
Ridiculous.
But yeah,
Great.
Callisto Protocol, it definitely looks like a game that I will be playing on day one.
Oh yeah.
Hands
Oh, me
down.
as well.
Hands down.
Oh,
Did we get
from-
what is the release date?
It's like November, I believe.
I was thinking
No,
November,
December
December.
2nd?
But December 2nd, yeah.
Really wish they
Um,
were coming out around Halloween.
It
Although
would
there's
be
going to be a
great game.
plethora of space horror games coming out this year. So
You're not going to be wanting for horror.
right.
Man, just from that initial E3 trailer that they showed last year for Callisto Protocol, I've been on board.
Same here. I mean,
No
Oh,
pun
yeah,
intended.
we said from the beginning it looks like Dead Space, and sure enough, it looks more like Dead Space than it even did before. So
I mean, it doesn't, like, it feels wrong to say it looks like Dead Space. It is just Dead Space.
mm-hmm.
You know, it's
If the guy's name is like, I don't know,
Clark
Jason
Isaac.
Smark,
No, it's going to be like
Isaac. It would
yeah,
be
Clark
great.
Isaac.
that'd be awesome.
Clark Isaac. Oh, that'd be amazing. CB, what about you? What stood out to you from this list?
Do you even need to ask?
Well, I think that's why I
Oh.
asked.
Oh, the aliens, they're back.
Really?
Oh,
Even though
yeah.
Even though it's a
Darkest.
top-down kind of game?
Don't care.
Okay. Just asking, man. Dang.
Didn't we see like a half a second of gameplay? Like
Yeah, that's
literally-
always
at the
like-
very end, yeah.
Yeah, it was this wicked cool CG trailer followed by about 2 seconds of gameplay.
I don't even think it was 2 seconds, man. I literally think it was like half a second of just like a flash. You didn't even see any action.
Yeah.
No, all I know is it looks like Diablo Aliens.
Yeah? I mean, we got Left 4 Dead aliens, so now you're going to get Diablo aliens.
And
Oh, yeah.
I want it so... Dude, that trailer was the ultimate bait and switch.
Yeah, you're going to have to explain, because you were talking to me about this trailer when we were at D&D the other night, and the connection to the movies, you know better than I do.
Well, I'm hoping that it's going to be on Earth, so we might finally get the Red Queen storyline.
And I did not know the Red Queen storyline was a thing, so you're going to have to explain to everybody what that is.
Basically, the Wayland Yutani Company finally got their hands on aliens
Mm-hmm.
and clone them to try to take over, and it goes horribly wrong for many reasons.
No kidding.
Who would have thunk it?
But like just the design in that CG trailer though looks so much like the original designs from the Aliens movie, not the original Alien,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean there was enough difference that you will notice. So I think it looks utterly gorgeous, the CG trailer, and I don't care. It's Xenomorphs. I will play anything.
Well, like you said, the bait and switch was kind of interesting because the trailer led you to believe that the guy was
What?
recording or sending out.
It looks like he's sitting at like a tribunal and they're talking to him.
Right. And no, he's actually like trapped and stuck with all these xenomorphs, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So, also I will say routine. Mwah, that looks right up my alley.
That's the Alien Isolation one, right?
Yeah. It really does. I mean, granted, yes, it looks like budget Terminator, but just the feel of like I'm so excited because it looks like it's going to be the year of sci-fi horror,
It really does.
Oh yeah.
and I'm all for it because that is like one of my favorite things in the world.
Mhm.
But
Zack.
Well, I mean, I hate to be a cliche, but I'm going to go with the comic book game here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Midnight Suns looks awesome.
Oh, that trailer was killer.
The
was great.
the trailer was cool, but I don't know if you guys did any extra work. IGN had a video for it. They like played 5 hours of it.
Mhm.
It sounds awesome. It's a turn-based RPG, but you have a home hub area. You make your own character in the Marvel universe, but they described it as very Mass Effect like, where you go to your hub and you talk to your party members like Iron Man and stuff, and then they all have specific missions so you can bond with them closer. And you're making choice-based dialogue and stuff. It sounds like a real RPG.
Okay, that sounds really cool.
I mean, it's
Sounds-
a Firaxis game, right? So it's going to be like an XCOM style.
Right, but it sounds like this is something a little bit
Well, yeah.
new for them.
Mm.
I don't know. I think that game looks exceptional.
I
You
wish
know,
they
it's
would
great.
have done the homework and watched some gameplay because all I saw was the
Yeah, same here. I didn't
which
see
was
the
fine.
gameplay.
I was actually bummed to see Spider-Man in this game.
Why?
Like, because it would be nice to. I was already bummed that Iron Man was in it. I think it would be cool if it was just the supernatural characters getting the spotlight. You know, like your Blades and your Doctor Stranges and stuff. The people who mess with this kind of stuff normally. Ghost Rider. Because in the comics, you would never see Spider-Man or Iron Man anywhere near this storyline.
yeah, you're not wrong. But I mean, you do see Blade in the trailer, which
No,
gets
yeah.
me really excited.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Blade. I want Blade to be my main dude in this game. But I like that you play as I like that you play as a daughter or son of Lilith. I think that's kind of a neat way to tie your player character into the overall Marvel lore.
Who's Lilith?
Oh, she's a queen of demons. She's the main villain of this game.
Oh, the green one in the trailer?
Right. Who can
Okay.
possess venom and whatnot.
Gotcha.
Looks pretty cool.
It looks gorgeous. The trailer was very flashy, but again, it's CG. I should have done my homework and watched some gameplay, but
Yeah, that's not on you. I mean, I think this trailer on its own, I would have been like, oh yeah, Midnight Suns exists. But
Mhm.
actually looking into it was very helpful.
well, that's good. I can we just say really quick, by the way, that did it just feel like we saw very little gameplay this entire show?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
mostly cinematic CG trailers.
Yeah,
I
which
mean-
I appreciate. We'll get to it later, but that's what I appreciated about the Xbox showcase. It had more gameplay.
Mm-hmm. Phil Spencer actually announced that like beforehand. Like he said, we're gameplay first kind of thing. Well, yeah, we'll get to that. So yeah, I wasn't surprised by Marvel's Midnight Suns being the top of your list. So, boy, you guys took the Callisto was going to be my number one as well. I'll
can
mention,
share it.
What's that?
We can share it.
I will say, and this wasn't a new game by any means. We already knew this existed, but the TMNT Shredder's Revenge, we get to play as Casey Jones. The game has 6-player co-op. That's insane. I don't remember ever playing
6-player couch co-op.
Outside of like maybe the X-Men arcade game, I don't remember ever playing a game like that. But the kicker is that not only does this game come out next week, but it's going to be on Game Pass, which was not expecting that at all. That was a very, very nice surprise. I remember when the special edition came out, that ridiculously priced special edition
for that lovely acrylic.
Yeah, like I don't understand why that's worth $150, but yeah, I wonder if anybody that pre-ordered is kind of kicking themselves. I don't feel sorry for you guys. I paid for Ninja Gaiden, so
wouldn't it come with a Pizza Hut coupon or something?
Yeah, with the vintage late 80s, early 90s Pizza Hut free coupon for a personal pan pizza.
Yeah, that's cool.
A personal pan pizza that's like $9.
Yeah,
it's the principle of it, Scott.
Yeah, you get one of those by reading 6 books when I was in 4th grade.
Well, times have changed.
I think I had to read 100 books to get a pan pizza.
100 books to get one of those dinky little pizzas?
Yeah, I only got one in my entire elementary school.
Oh man, I don't remember.
What was that program called?
Book It.
Book It. Yeah.
Man, I mean, I read like crazy when I was a kid, so I enjoyed.
I did as well. So
yeah, I think it was 50 pizzas in my district.
50 pizzas?
I'm sorry, 50 books to get a pizza. Sorry.
Zach's like, the limit was 50 pizzas. You could not get any more than that.
I had to learn the hard way. You could only get 50 pizzas.
Could you imagine that program existing today? Nobody, because that was basically the honor system. You basically had parents that signed off that you read this book. Like, there's no way that could work today.
No, not at all.
Your team people are getting scummier? Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, we want to talk about scummy?
Oh yeah, you want to just jump right into that?
Scummy and depressing?
Yeah.
Well, I assume you wanted to talk about The Last of Us. Is that where you're Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of do because it makes me angry.
Well, we got to make sure we get this right because you and I were having a discussion about this today, and I think
you were right. You were right.
Okay.
So
it's The Last of Us Part 1. And the thing that CB was concerned with, he thought that this was just the first half of the game, The Last of Us.
Oh.
And I was like, no, dude, the second game
I was ready to full on table flip.
So he thought they were going to do like a Final Fantasy VII and do an episode 1 kind of thing. Because they built it from the ground up. So if you really want the full game, you're going to have to pay $140, over the course of however many years to get that. But I was like, dude, no, the second game was called The Last of Us Part 2. So I think they put the Part 1 in here just to differentiate, so there's no confusion.
That's their ground up remake because they added Part 1.
With that said, this remake, which is the second remake of this game, is coming out on September 2nd. It will only be on PS5 and PC.
It's in the works for PC later, yeah.
Okay. But the price tag on this, because it's built from the ground up, is $70. A game that came out 9 years ago, being remastered for the second time, and they're asking $70. I said this on social media, but I don't care how from the ground up this is. That's a ridiculous, expectation to ask for that game. And the problem is, people are going to pay it.
If you thought we had problems in America with tearing each other's throat out, and what's happening in the schools, the real tragedy is that the $100 collector's edition of this remake is already sold out.
It sold out in 2 minutes.
I've lost all faith in gamers.
Yep.
I don't think it's gamers.
I think it's scalpers.
I think the PlayStation fan base has delved into the levels of idiocy and whippedness that Nintendo fanboys have.
I think you're both right.
Give me whatever you want, Daddy. I will take it.
But I mean, come on, this. It's not even a 20-year-old game.
I know.
And Because what the Last of Us remake came out 9 years ago.
No. The original game came out 9 years ago. Right.
Okay, so the remake.
Well, the PS4 remaster, which came with Left Behind, and is part of your PlayStation Plus subscription, by the way, so you can just play it right now, or buy it for $5 somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think that came out 2014, but that's not the the point is $70 for a the PS4 version still looks incredible.
Yeah, still looks really good.
There's no all the screenshots going around online. If they weren't labeled, I could not have told you which was which on all of them. I could on some, I'll admit. But there were definitely some screenshots where I'm like, I have no idea which one is supposed to be the remake.
Yeah, I purposely try to avoid which logo was on it to see if I could differentiate which one was which.
And correct me if I'm wrong, this does not have factions in it.
Right.
So I'm actually getting less
game.
game.
Yes, that is true. You are getting less game than you did the first time. But it's so beautiful. And it's not like, it's the same performance captures and voice lines and everything. It's not it's not actually from the ground up. And I'm not saying, of course, I think you should keep the performances, by the way. I'm just saying when Capcom remakes Resident Evil 4, at least it really is a from the ground up remake, not we're saying it's from the ground up, but really we're just polishing the visuals.
Well, that's the thing is we didn't see any gameplay. I mean, they said they've rehauled it to have the control scheme from Last of Us 2, which I will say was vastly improved. I thought Last of Us 2 was actually fun to play.
Yeah, I agree.
It was, yeah.
Whereas going back to the original, it's a great story. It's just not nearly as fun to play as 2 was.
But is it $70 good?
No. That's one that I am fine. This is one that makes me wish I could rent from Redbox just so I could pop it in and play it for a weekend. Not even worry about finishing it, just see what it looks like and then be done with it.
To me, this really feels like, hey guys, just everybody at Naughty Dog, hey, we don't have anything in the works right now. Can you just go through and polish this game up and then we're going to kick it for $70?
I mean, like Zack said, they know people do it. So,
I mean, so PlayStation's on top, but they must be hurting for money if they're this desperate, right?
Either that or they're just that greedy.
No, they are that greedy. It's just, it makes them look pathetic. And this is my preferred console, but
who looks more pathetic,
childless.
Sony or the people that are selling out a...
Oh, definitely, both of them. You're both pathetic. The PlayStation diehards and PlayStation themselves. If you buy this, I'm sorry, you're just a straight up chump if you're paying $70 for this game. Straight up.
Yeah.
There's no... And that's okay. I can still like you if you're a chump, and you can still like yourself if you're a chump, but you got to have the self-realization. You're getting had.
I'm guessing that the Left Behind DLC is going to be in there.
I would hope so.
They showed shots of it in this trailer.
Yes.
Which is... I actually never played that. But again...
it's a fantastic DLC.
I could go play that on the PS4 remastered version right now.
True.
So it's not like I need to worry about... I don't know. This one just made me mad. Didn't they kick off the show with this too?
No, this is the ending.
Oh, this is the very end?
This is the grand finale, was The Last of Us Part 2, and also here's a screenshot from a TV show.
It was just a picture of... it was Ellie and Joel crouched down, looking off to the right. Yeah.
I love Jeff Keighley, but man, if that's how you're going to end your show, that's incredibly disappointing.
He is displaying an increasingly out of touch mentality. These weird Skype calls with Jim Carrey and The Rock just rambling and losing their minds, ending shows with a Fast and the Furious tie-in game, a Matrix tech demo, and now a $70 remake of a game everyone's already played, I assume because this way you can talk about the show. There is no way that Jeff Keighley of 5 years ago would think that, yes, gamers will love if I end this with an unnecessary remake. And the weird announcement that it sounds like Factions, which was promised as part of The Last of Us Part 2, is now going to be its own separate thing, which is fine, but I feel like we need confirmation that we're still getting it if you bought Part 2.
Right.
Oh no, it'll be a $40 add-on.
I'm worried it will be, even though they said it will be part of the game.
I can't believe that. How long has that game been out now? A year and a half?
Yeah, right.
You're around that, yeah.
Like, I mean, you paid $60 for a title and didn't get everything that was promised.
To be fair, we don't even have all of Halo Infinite yet.
Yeah, but you can finish. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could finish Last of Us Part 2 as well.
Yeah, so I mean, like being an Xbox fan and
You're right.
like
Right, but
pot
also,
calling kettle black there.
Oh, because you don't have co-op yet?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it like Halo Infinite, like one of their flagship titles, is not complete yet either. So
Right.
You're right, but I'm not worried that co-op is going to cost me extra money.
true.
And also, we played it on Game Pass. We didn't pay $60 for the game.
70, sir.
70, whatever.
Well, 70 for this. It's 60 for Halo. But anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's
What
plenty
are-
of other games on here. Does anybody have anything else they want to talk about before we move on to Xbox/Bethesda? Alyssa?
I don't think so.
No, okay.
I think
Wow.
I think Gotham Knights is still my most excited game for the year. It's just what a weird trailer this was.
I don't know about you, but to me, it didn't look as good.
I don't know, it looks. I mean, after seeing the gameplay demo, my expectations have certainly shifted. But it was just a weird. Like, I don't need 4 trailers for the different Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
But that's what I was expecting when I was watching this. I was like, are we going to get 3 more of these?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
weird.
Modern Warfare 2, I'm actually starting to get a little excited for.
Okay, I'm
That
so
did
glad
look-
to hear you
It
say
did
that.
look good, yeah.
Because I heard everybody on Twitter just crapping on that trailer, and I just did not understand. I thought that looked freaking great.
I think the vitriol online was just like every gameplay demo for a Call of Duty game looks the same, so it just kind of feels redundant at a certain point.
I'm more or less excited for the story, but I know it's not going to be as impactful as the original.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked the new Modern Warfare. I liked
So
the
did
story.
Yeah, I love the first reboot. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm really kind of curious to see where they're going to go with this. I don't care about the multiplayer. Just give me the campaign. So, and then
I don't know if you remember the first game, right? They were trying to be intentionally controversial.
Oh no, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
I hope
I know what you're talking about.
I hope that continues here.
It's Call of Duty. They tend to do that.
Well, remember,
no,
they
but-
kind of skirted the line a little bit with the last Modern Warfare remake.
That's what I'm saying. But that I'm saying, like, in their marketing and everything, what did they say? One of their driving focuses was to push buttons and be controversial. I just hope that
Yeah.
mentality continues here.
I agree.
Layers of Fears. I'm also excited for because I loved the first 2.
I did.
I never played the second one. I really like the first game, though.
Second one's just as good.
I do have it. I just never played it.
That's in the Unreal 5 engine, right?
Yeah, the new one is.
Like that. I mean, when I think of Bloober Team, I don't think of like super high-end AAA graphics, but that trailer looks solid.
It looks like a great test run for Silent Hill.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
You're not wrong.
Let's see. The other one that I wanted to mention was Metal Hellsinger. Man,
You've been high on that game since we saw it.
don't shake your head at me. That game looks so much fun. There's actually a demo out for it. You can play the demo for free on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. I was hoping to have some time to fire it up before we recorded tonight, but I did not. But like Serge Tankian from System of a Down is in there. I saw Ginger's got music in there. I don't know if you're familiar with Ginger, but holy cow. Go look up the song Pisces by Ginger. Just watch it on YouTube. You will not believe the vocals in that trailer. Even if you don't like metal, go check it out. Trivium's got some music in there. Lots of bands I recognize, lots of bands I didn't. So, I don't know. I love rhythm games. I love shooters. And the guy even in the trailer said, have you ever played a shooter game and kind of caught yourself like shooting in beat with the music? I've done that because I'm a weirdo. And he's like, well, what if you had to? And that just really intrigued me. So I want to know how those mechanics work.
he also encouraged headbanging while playing,
Yeah.
which I'd probably just get my character killed doing that. But
Yeah.
Unquestionably. You know what? I also did like the Goat Simulator 3 trailer.
that
Okay,
was funny.
I'm glad somebody brought that up because even though that game is dumb,
I appreciate
it.
the Dead Island 2 spoof of it.
Mm-hmm.
I also appreciate the fact that they just skipped Goat Simulator 2 completely. They went from
Yeah.
1 to 3.
That's amazing. Big fan of that. I like that this trailer only works for people that love E3, because you would have to be, remember that trailer or whatever. And I don't remember Dead Island 2 trailer debuted at E3 or whatever, but this was a trailer for us big time nerds. It was fun. I'll never play it, but I appreciated the trailer and the absolute audacity to just call your game Goat Simulator 3
when there is not even a Goat Simulator 2.
Yeah. Respect.
That was pretty great. It's really funny because I actually saw a tweet. Somebody mentioned that they were talking about they wanted a new Hot Shots movie. You remember the Hot Shots movies?
Oh yeah.
They're absolutely
No.
ridiculous. They're like Leslie Nielsen style movies, only dumber, if you can believe it. But somebody said on Twitter that they should make a Hot Shots part quad or something like that. Just completely skip 3 because there wasn't a third movie, and just never even mention it. Just be like, that would be the whole joke. And then Goat Simulator did it, and I was like, man, I would have rather seen that in the Hot Shots series, but it worked here too. CB, anything else?
No, I'm more excited to move on.
Okay. Zach, last chance?
Nope.
No? All right. I want to mention one...
I thought if I was quiet, you would move on. But...
Oh, okay. I wanted to mention one other thing before we went on, and I have no interest really in playing the Saints Row game, but this whole idea of letting you create your character before the game comes out, to me, is brilliant. Like, if you...
Oh, yeah.
Like...
okay.
No, I think it's...
No, I'm just glad you guys say that, because I saw it and I was like, who in the hell is this for?
It's for, I mean, imagine if you could just go download this thing and create your character before the game comes out. You're now invested. It doesn't
that's why I'm glad I have a different perspective on this show.
Oh, okay. What's your perspective?
Who in the hell is this for?
All right.
I say it's for the people that spend hours on the customization screen, and they just want to get that out of the way before they start the actual game, so they can have their character customized to perfection by the time they start.
I mean, because that's one of the things that always bugs me about playing games is the character customization. I just, especially if I don't see my character that much, but in a game like Saints Row, you actually do see your character and it has its own voice and all that. So you could actually take the time and, if you're stoked for the game, get invested. I mean, if they let anybody download this for free, I don't know. CB, you mentioned you thought they might have to pre-order it. Did we ever get that confirmed?
I don't know. I tried looking into it. I didn't see much on it.
To me, that doesn't make any sense to let you do it for pre-order. That doesn't do... Was it Volition that makes these games? It doesn't do them any good to do that for people that are already going to buy the game. To me, you make this out there for everybody. Let them, create their character leading up to the game, and then they're invested. I think that's a brilliant move. One last thing, I will mention the Neon White trailer looked really interesting. It reminded me of Mirror's Edge, but with more combat, like more combat focused. Did anybody else get that vibe, or am I just totally off base?
I cannot watch the trailer because it made me motion sick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like a Mirror's Edge with cards.
Yeah. Okay.
I just thought that was... I'm sure the game works better in function, but on paper, the idea of dealing with cards whilst in a fast-paced platformer sounds infuriating.
Yeah, I don't know how you would do that unless... The only way I could think to do that on the fly is if you cycled through them with your shoulder buttons, and then to activate the one, you press both at the same time. Like, that's the only way I could think to do that if you're doing that on the fly.
Yeah, I don't know. But
anyway, that was the Summer Games Fest 2022. Overall impressions, guys? Thumbs up, thumbs down, kind of, sort of, okay?
I give it a C.
A C.
Yeah, I'd probably give it like a D, maybe a D+.
Okay.
I'd give it, the middle meh. It's not a thumbs up, it's not a thumbs down, it's just a meh.
2.5 out of 5.
There we go, yeah.
So C average. I mean, 2.5 out of 5 is a 50%. That's a failing grade.
Only in the public school systems.
That's true. I give it a 2. That's no, I'm probably about in the C range too. I thought it was. I didn't actually watch the stuff till today, so I didn't watch it live. Could somebody explain to me? I didn't see the thing with the Rock.
I didn't watch it live either, so I don't know about the Rock thing.
What did he do?
No, he rambled for like 2 minutes. He he had to have shouted out 6 or 7 things he was involved with.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like kept showing off his energy drink and his gym, and then the Black Adam trailer, and then his involvement with Fortnite. It was like 2 minutes straight of shilling. It was ridiculous, and
there was no game reason for him to be there.
No, not at all. And it sounded like he had just done a rail of coke or something. He was totally unhinged.
Wow,
he was out of his mind. It was not as bad, but close to that weird Jim Carrey thing where he just was in that Scottish accent repeating the same sentence over and over again from the Game Awards.
Bizarre.
It was nonsense, and it was just like I wasn't expecting all of the commercials either.
Well, again, I went through and watched each, gameplay video or whatever individually, so I didn't see all the commercials, but didn't see any commercials during the Xbox Bethesda show.
Nope. That was all killer, no filler.
Yeah. All right, well, moving on. Let's go ahead and jump into the Xbox Bethesda Games Showcase. I will do the same thing here. I'll just kind of run down the list, and then, Zach, I'll kick it off with you to see what interested you the most. They kicked the show off with Redfall. We finally saw gameplay for that game. Followed up by Hollow Knight Silksong. And then we had High on Life from the creators of Rick and Morty. That game comes out in October. Pretty big, mind-blowing announcement that Riot Games content is coming to Game Pass for PC. Pretty huge. Finally saw some gameplay footage for A Plague Tale Requiem. No surprise that they unveiled a Forza game, Forza Motorsport. Sounds like they're kind of starting over with the naming instead of doing another numbered series. That comes spring 2023. Couple updates for Microsoft Flight Simulator. There is a 40th anniversary edition coming in November. And then today, you can, as of today, this recording, you can actually download Halo content for Microsoft Flight Simulator. You can actually fly a Pelican. Another big one, I thought this was an interesting place to show off this game. Overwatch 2 is getting early access on October 4th. Will be free to play. We got a trailer for a game called Ara, History Untold. Got some content for the Elder Scrolls Online called High Isle. Some content for Fallout 76 called Expeditions the Pit. Update for Forza Horizon 5. It's another Hot Wheels update like they did with 4. Trailer for Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. A new game from Mojang called Minecraft Legends. Trailer for Ark 2. Trailer for Scorn. Trailer for a game called The Last Case of Benedict Fox. I'm just going to kind of go through these a little bit more quickly here. Gunfire Reborn. Naraka Blade Point update getting on June 23rd.
Well, that's also the console debut for Naraka Blade Point.
Oh, is it? I thought that I didn't realize that was PC only. So good call. Lightyear Frontier, A Fresh Start, coming spring 2023. Erebin Shadow Legacy 2023. New game called As Dusk Falls. New game coming in November called Pentiment. And then the full game is releasing in September for Grounded, and it's going to come with a story mode. And Diablo 4. We got 2 different trailers, one showing off a new class for the Necromancer, and then we actually saw a full-on gameplay trailer. Got a new update for Sea of Thieves called Captains of Adventure. It's kind of like the 7th season there. And then a trailer for Ravenlock in 2023. New game from Team Ninja called Wo Long Fallen Destiny. That comes out in early 2023. And another big Megaton announcement, the Persona games will be coming to Xbox. And yes, that includes Game Pass. Game called Cocoon. Hopefully that will not be the same subject matter that the film was from the 80s. And then another bombshell, Kojima Productions is teaming up with Xbox Studios. And then they closed the showcase by showing off, finally, some gameplay from Starfield. Quite a list there. Zach, where would you like to start?
Oh, I don't think there's any question that A Plague Tale Requiem was the best game here.
I agree.
It looked phenomenal. It looks like, I especially love in the trailer where that kid's like, remember, no killing, we don't want to hurt anybody. And then she just murders everybody. That's awesome. Big fan of that. But this really looks like the classic Uncharted 1 to 2 jump.
Yeah. I can see that.
Like I thought that first game was already great, but this looks like immaculate. This looks incredible.
When does it come out? I don't remember seeing a release date.
2022 is what they said, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
It just said 2022.
Q4.
Yeah, and it's a Game Pass game. I remember that was a big news. Yeah, I think this looks phenomenal.
I'm going to have to go back and finish that game before it comes out because
You really do.
story's good.
Very
Oh, yeah.
good. The ending
Incredible.
The ending is a little bonkers, but
Yeah.
it looks like they're using the ending well here.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Yeah. I feel like I've been getting press releases on that one for a couple years now. Like it's a long time coming, but it looks like it'll be worth the wait, especially on Game Pass. So many of these are on Game Pass, it's nuts. Alyssa, what about you? What looks most intriguing to you outside of Plague Tale Requiem?
I was gonna say, like Zack said, Plague Tale, but I'm really excited that the Persona games are coming to Game Pass because I love Persona 5. Never got the chance to play Persona 3 I played a little bit of Persona 4, but not much of it. So to have specifically 3 and 4 and the ultimate versions of those, Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden on Game Pass at some time.
Persona 3 Portable is nice that you have a female option, but they cut out a lot. I was surprised to see there's no so in the Persona 3 on PS2 you can walk around town and stuff. The portable version, it was all static, you just pick cursor options from a map screen basically. That's
my bad for not having knowledge about that.
No, it's just I'm excited people can play Persona 3. I wish it was some kind of melding, the full PS2 version where you can actually walk around town and also be the girl. That would be nice. But Persona 3 is great either way, and it's still the best Persona, obviously. So people got a lot to look forward to.
I saw a funny
I'm excited
tweet.
To play it.
Somebody posted today that said it's a good thing that the average shelf life of a game on Game Pass is 5 years. So he said it's a good thing that they brought Persona 5 to Game Pass because it will take you 5 years to complete that game or something like that. Apparently, there's a lot of hours in that one.
Yeah, well, I think a just straight story playthrough is supposed to be 90 hours.
It's nuts.
I played the base version, and I believe it took me 80 hours to finish the story on normal difficulty. But I've heard with the Royal version, which is the one coming to Xbox, it's 100 hours plus.
That's a lot of game.
Yeah, I should really play Persona 5 at some point, considering I love 3 and 4 to death.
Oh, I love Persona 5, and I really want to play 3 and 4 because I love Persona 5 that much.
Together, Alyssa, you and I could take over the world.
We could, and we should.
I'm down.
All right, CB, you're up.
Fallout in space, bro.
Starfield.
Yeah, I'm surprised it took the third person to get to this one.
I am stupidly excited for this game.
I wish you guys could have seen Chris's reaction when this game was shown.
For the dumbest reasons, I'm excited for this game.
Is it because it cares about real space?
That too.
Because I know you really love space.
I do.
And this seems like a much harder sci-fi than we usually get in video games, especially.
Yeah. No, the number one thing I'm excited about this is I can build my own city.
Dude, well, you can build cities, right?
Yeah.
Outposts on several planets. That's pretty cool.
And then you can actually hire people to run them. I'm so excited for that. I'm excited for the fact that I can build my own ship, design it the way I want completely, and then fly it, have combat in it.
You can make your own galactic empire.
You have
democracy ends.
Scott was literally watching me geek out over this.
Seriously, we went outside after it was over, and he just was 90 words a minute, just.
Well, and he also loves Fallout, So I mean, he's predisposed. I know you do, but
I live Fallout.
Yeah, it seems to be part of his blood flow.
Did you get all the achievements in Fallout 3?
No,
I did.
But that's also because I've played it on
here we go.
3 different systems.
Boys, put them away. There's no need to measure here.
Flop for 20.
Slap bet for it.
No. Well, I mean, I already won. Right? I got all the achievements. Anyway.
I mean, if somebody made a real life Pip-Boy that actually functioned, I would buy it and just weld it to my arm.
We could just attach your phone with rubber bands to your arm.
No,
we can make that happen.
No, I want an actual Pip-Boy. It has to look like that.
What's the one thing that I wanted? You remember when I was shouting at the screen when they went into combat? I was like, I started screaming, "Show me VATS! Show me VATS!" I wanted
Oh, yeah.
VATS.
Oh yeah.
He's just like, "Where's the VAT system?" I'm like, "There's not going to be a VAT system, man. It's a different game."
I know.
And then they start showing like some of the other stuff. I'm like, "That's so Fallout."
Yep.
Like it's not even funny.
Well, the thing that stuck out to me, and apparently I'm not the only one, it reminded me of No Man's Sky quite a bit. Just like the angle of from the third person, and just the weird random critters that are rolling around on the planet. And I don't know, I just got flying from planet to planet. It looks like a much higher resolution, finite No Man's Sky to me.
Well, I was going to say, this looks closer to the original pitch for No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
Right.
it's the No Man's Sky we were promised.
Yeah. I'm not trying to disparage either game by saying that, but yeah, I definitely got a No Man's Sky, but like I'm infinitely more excited about this one. What did they say? 1,000 different planets? Like he started like
Yeah.
1,000.
he showed like one planet and it's like you can explore this entire planet.
He's like, well, no, it was planet, entire planet, including the cities, and then zooms out and this system.
Okay.
And I'm like,
here's where I was like, oh, this game's gonna be awesome. Nice contained system. I can't wait to explore all these planets in depth. You know what? I know it's gonna be like a couple hundred hours, but honestly, I'm sold on this game. And then
like 1,000 planets, and I'm like,
I was like, I'm out.
Oh, you're done?
I was sitting here, I'm like, I'm never going to need to buy another game again.
Yeah. I just
No, I mean it's part of Game Pass, right? There's no reason not to play it.
right.
But
Yeah.
I was surprised because I don't really care about Bethesda, but I was surprised at how much this game looks incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Honestly, the only thing missing for me to be like almost a dream come true game would be sentient aliens to talk to. But I understand that's not what they're going for.
Right.
But it looks cool.
Who
Man,
knows?
it looks cool.
They could be there.
The one thing
That's what
that was
that would be
missing for
awesome.
me was co-op. Could you imagine just going across the galaxy with your buddy in the same
I can't.
ship that you like built together?
Can't imagine anything I'd like less. But
Dude, I would love that. And it's not like it's
I
something
wanna-
you would have to do.
I don't want anybody messing with my galactic empire. I am the emperor.
I thought we were going to take over the world together, Zach. Wouldn't it be?
Well, it's the whole galaxy.
That's what
now.
he tells you. He ropes you in and then says, come to the dark side. We'll rule this as father and daughter together.
No,
And then
Zach,
cut his
Father and
hand off.
daughter.
Whoa, man.
Zach's sitting here. He's like, no, we'll take over the world together,
Well,
but the
what
galaxy
about,
is
like-
mine.
Okay.
Yeah, we could share this planet. This is you.
I get one planet out of 1,000. Yay.
So yeah, that looked really great. And it's on Game Pass. Just still blows my mind. The one that stood out to me, I think, the most was just how good Diablo 4 looks. I was kind of blown away. Not only by how high quality the graphics look, but just some of the changes that they've made to the gameplay. Apparently, there's outposts now that you can go take.
Sorry, I thought the Necromancer trailer was super cool, and then they started showing it. I was like, yeah, Diablo, it's like, Diablo on Game Pass sounds good. And they were talking about it's an interconnected open world, and here we have the enemy stronghold to clear out. And I'm like, no!
You
Hey,
ruined it.
Ubisoft it.
Why did they have the Ubisoft Diablo of all things?
Well, I mean, the
Why
game.
why is Diablo Immortal closer to Diablo than this one? What's going on?
I don't know, man. I feel like I like having more purpose than just going through levels. Like I love
I know
Diablo 3. Don't
you-
get me wrong.
You love your checklists.
I love my checklist.
Okay.
I like things to do.
To be fair, like it looks like the the Ubisoft it, but they're also saying that you're trying to clear the planet.
Yeah,
So instead of
cleanse.
like you're actually like clearing the evil away, which I'm like, that's really kind of cool. Like something I like. We'll see how it goes, but man, that game is pretty.
There was one attack that I
Yes.
saw one guy do where he just like brought
The blood
forth
wave?
this giant like wave or I don't know, giant cylinder of blood and
Mhm.
just like rolled it over his enemies. I just thought that looked so freaking cool. That was pretty neat.
Do we know if Diablo is an Xbox exclusive?
It is not.
I was gonna say there's
Okay.
no way they would make.
No, I did look it up. It is not an exclusive because the deal is not done yet.
Well, the game's not going to be out for a while.
And is that
Also,
Game Pass? That's not Game
Definitely.
Pass.
No, it's not Game Pass.
I didn't
Oh,
think
it's not.
All the Blizzard games are not Game Pass yet.
That makes sense. But it could always be announced before it comes out, right?
it could.
Yes, it can.
Could. There's lots more to talk about here, guys. We're
Oh, can I geek out like a moron for a minute?
Again?
Of course.
For Forza Motorsport.
yeah. You
I
were
am-
geeking out on this one,
Dude,
pretty
I am
hard.
stupidly excited because I love the actual like base Forza series. And they finally have damage. And that game is utterly and ridiculously gorgeous. Like I told Scott because he was busy typing on his laptop and I'm like, stop and look at the TV. Like it looks real. Like utterly real.
Yeah, when they showed the one shot of like there were two cars next to each other and they zoomed in on the panel on one side of a car and you could actually see the reflection of the other car that was next to it in the panel, along with like all the imperfections, like chips
In the clear coat.
Yeah, like it's pretty incredible. Like I thought Forza Horizon 5 looked really good. But yeah, the damage, it's funny to me that's such an important thing to Forza gamers because, you know, the car makers themselves don't want images of their vehicles being damaged because they don't want that out there. They're worried about it like ruining the salesmanship of the car kind of thing. And if they allow you to have them damaged, then they're going to, you know, be screenshots of messed up cars all over the place. But they're allowing it to happen in this one. And the damage looks real.
But I mean, like it's racing. Damage happens to cars in racing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just mind blown because like they were even talking about how like each one of the scratches
Yep.
is drawn in by hand. I can't even imagine how much time it took to animate some of this.
Oh, I
agree.
know.
Forza Motorsport. Was it spring 2023?
Yeah, spring 2023.
Alyssa, anything else stand out to you?
As if I could speak, As Dusk Falls
Mhm.
looked like it'd be up my alley. Besides, I don't like how the characters move in the trailer. Maybe
You
it
gotta
works
remind me
better
what
when
this
you're
one
playing
was.
the
I
game.
don't remember what it is.
It's supposed to be like an interactive story, and I don't know if I should say is rotoscoped. The actors kind of look rotoscoped.
Is that
But
like
the
what they do with
movements-
Mortal Kombat?
They wanted
I'm not
The-
sure.
the game to look like a motion graphic novel. is
Yeah, that's what they said.
Oh, okay.
It did look a little off,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if that's going to be the finished product.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't know. It might be better when you're actually playing it.
The story sounds intriguing,
Oh yeah.
but that one like that's one of the few games that they were shown that I'm like I'm on the fence about. Like I want to see what it looks like when you get closer to the final product.
Mm-hmm.
I mean there was a couple of them with that today, but I will say like the story does sound super interesting. So, and I know most of us are here for the story and the gameplay over the graphics anyways,
Mhm.
but there are certain things that the graphics are just
Yeah.
they need to be there for.
Because I'm really interested in the story. It's just the movement right now is just putting me off a little bit.
Okay. Fair enough. I got real excited when I saw Team Ninja's logo get up there. I thought for a minute my dream of
Ninja
another
Gaiden 4.
Ninja Gaiden 4 was going to happen. But then I saw, a character without a mask on. I was like, well, there goes that. It's something different. Still think it looks pretty cool, but I didn't see enough of it to really make a judgment call. But Wo
For a
Long,
second,
Fallen Destiny.
I thought maybe they had scooped the Neo franchise away from PlayStation for a hot second.
Oh, really?
'Cause I thought it was like, oh, Neo 3 Xbox? That'd be a crazy announcement.
Nah, I mean, yeah, pulling something from PlayStation, that would just be crazy, right?
Like
Yeah.
Diablo.
No, I was thinking more along the lines of a man.
Oh, we're talking about Hideo Kojima?
Yeah.
There's no I'm sure he's still making a PlayStation game.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
This
Yeah.
meant nothing to me. I was like,
Well,
all right.
I do find it funny over the fact that Kojima did post on Twitter a couple weeks back of them like leaving their old office. They're like, it's a sad day, but on to bigger and better things. And then immediately this announcement happens today, and I'm like, oh, so Microsoft's probably bought you a new office.
Well, Sony bought him the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, Norman Reedus also slipped up and said he was working on the second Death Stranding.
That's not the actual name, Alyssa.
I know, but he said the second part of.
No. I wasn't actually correcting you. You have the
it's cutie booty
Okay.
delivery duty.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, I forgot about that one. Cutie booty delivery duty.
There you go.
Tootie. Cutie Beauty Delivery Duty Tootie.
Oh,
Yeah.
even better.
Even
When
better.
it gets shirts made.
No, but this is the thing I was talking to CB about that I find kind of fascinating with this whole story is if Cutie Booty Delivery Duty Tootie is going to be PlayStation exclusive, and whatever game he's got for Xbox is going to be Xbox exclusive. Have we had a developer like of this size that makes exclusive games for both consoles?
I mean, Insomniac would have been the only other one, right?
That's all I can think of.
Oh yeah, because Insomniac did
Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive, and then Spider-Man, obviously.
Well, they were doing
Mhm.
Ratchet and Clanks while they were doing Sunset Overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
And they did Fuse, which is on both.
I forgot
Okay.
about that game.
So did everybody. Kojima's over here playing both sides, so he always comes out on top.
I kind of love that, and I'm not saying that from a Xbox perspective of like, yeah, he's on our side now. I don't worship Kojima as much as a lot of people do, but I just love that he's doing this. And wasn't there a story this week about like somebody had some gameplay leaked to them and they posted it, and what was it? Was it Overdose? Is that the name of it? I can't remember the name of it.
I don't remember the name, but that does sound familiar.
And it is gameplay, and when the character dies, it says, game over, and then it says like a Kojima production or whatever like that. So, is that what this game is, or is that a code name, or I don't know. Who knows what he's got in store? He's got something cooking up with Xbox Studios, and then he said and future projects as well. That just seemed like huge news for me.
What a megaton it would be if it's actually Silent Hills, an Xbox exclusive.
That would be
That'd be awesome.
Metal Gear 1 remake. Xbox exclusive.
I would somehow be upset about that.
Would you really?
I know you would.
That feels wrong.
all about it just being on Xbox. You mean?
Yeah, I need to press the square button to shoot. Or else it will not feel like Metal Gear.
But could you imagine being able to play that like in third person, like modern day third person?
Yeah, like
view?
a Resident Evil 2 style remake.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, that would be great.
How are you gonna do like the controller port thing though? There's gotta be another way to do that, right? Because you don't unplug your controllers and plug it back into the second port.
You have to sync a second controller.
Guess that's
You have to defeat Psycho Mantis by taking a nap by putting your console into rest mode,
oh.
so he can't read your mind while you're sleeping.
Yeah, like I was just really surprised, and Scott and I actually talked about this for a little bit because he moved out of the old office saying moving on to bigger and better things. I'm actually wondering, because of this announcement, if Microsoft didn't buy him additional team that they are paying for out of pocket to make a game for them exclusively.
Right. Well, again, I mean that is what PlayStation did for Death Stranding. They helped him start his studio or whatever, so it's not out of pocket for Kojima to be getting that kind of attention.
Mm-hmm.
But and he, I don't think he would ever go exclusive. I don't think he wants to be owned by anybody ever again. But I'm sure he's happy to take those checks no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just excited over the fact that he said I'm teaming up with on this and future projects. So I'm like, okay, things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Now we just need a Nintendo Kojima game, and then he could be the guy who does exclusives for everybody.
Oh, dude, get the hat trick.
Yeah, wouldn't that be impressive?
Mhm.
That would be
Yeah.
really impressive.
He makes this game and then immediately comes out and says that he's making an exclusive for Nintendo Switch.
That'd be awesome.
It would be.
Well, I
What's
mean,
going
if you think about
on?
it, he has had his games on Nintendo before. Twin Snakes was on GameCube. I mean, it wasn't
Right, yeah.
didn't start there, but that was a newer version of it. So
Yeah.
it's not like it never. I mean, the original Metal Gear was on Nintendo,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, I guess so. We don't think about those ones though.
Honestly, I think the biggest takeaway for me from this entire show, though, was the fact that everything they listed is coming out in the next 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that when they said that at the top, it kind of bummed me out because I'm like, well, we're not going to see Indiana Jones then,
Yeah, we're not going to see any Elder
or
Scrolls
Hellblade.
Gears. Why not
I'm
Hellblade?
actually.
It seems like they're taking their time on Hellblade.
I know.
'cause wasn't Hellblade supposed to be a launch title originally?
Yeah, but I think Hellblade 2 has got to really just be this 10 out of 10 stunner, because this feels like their answer to the PlayStation model of these high quality third person action games.
Right.
So I think this one matters in the zeitgeist more than a lot of them.
Yeah, because we didn't see Hellblade, Indiana, Gears.
Gears 6.
Although we saw Rod Ferguson, the traitor.
Why is he a traitor?
He moved to
'Cause-
Blizzard.
Yeah, because he
Oh,
left the
that's-
coalition. He doesn't work on. He got the name change from Gears of War to Gears and jumped ship. What a jerk!
I don't know why that changed. Too. Like, was it to do
Because
the new trilogy? Or?
He said, when they announced Gears 5, he said he wanted to change the name to Gears ever since the second game, and he's been fighting on every Gears of War to get it changed, and he finally got his way.
Well, there's also the fact that Gears of War is GOW and then God of War was GOW, so if you put GOW, you didn't know which franchise someone was talking about until...
Gears is also just a bad name on its own, though.
Yeah.
But Alyssa's reasoning makes more sense than I
Oh,
just
yeah,
want it that way.
Yeah, I think maybe he did. I mean, Alyssa's smarter than Rod Ferguson. I have no doubt about that.
I don't think so.
I just no doubt.
All right.
I think. Hold on. There was there was a game I liked on here. The Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn. I thought looked really cool.
It did look cool.
They're starting to blur together a little bit, so you're going to have to refresh my memory what Flintlock.
Oh, this is like the action and adventure game. It looked a little Souls-likey, I guess, in its combat.
Okay.
But it looked like a mid-budget kind of game, which I always appreciate.
You have a little companion that looks like
Yes,
Momo,
that's right.
kind of, from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, you get a little animal companion who helps you jump through the air and stuff. I don't know. I thought it looked fun, and I mean overall, I liked there are a lot of mid-tier and indie games at this show, which I kind of liked. Like even seeing Scorn again was cool, you know.
Yeah. Oh, you weren't excited about another shirtless Vin Diesel?
That was a weird trailer. That trailer did nothing. I didn't understand what was
No.
happening.
And they're like, Arc 2, and here's a shirtless Vin Diesel that looks gray.
Here's Arc 2. It's still coming. Okay.
Vin Diesel is still involved.
Still
Yeah,
haven't
we
been the
paid-
first
We
one.
paid a lot for Vin Diesel, so he's going to be in every trailer.
Actually, it sounds really dumb, but one of the number one things that caught my attention today, when we were watching this,
Pelican.
was the song they were playing for Forza Horizon 5.
I don't remember.
It was
Oh, the Over the Rainbow?
yeah, but
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the
First in
band
the Gimme Gimmes.
it's Me First and the Gimme Gimmes,
Yeah.
which I'm like, I haven't heard that band played for anything in forever. And so Scott's like, oh, looking up trailers, and all of a sudden I hear it, and I'm like, is that like, are we really using a song that's like almost 20 years old?
That band is notorious. They just do covers of
That's all
popular
they do,
songs, and they
they're
make punk versions
great.
of them. Yeah, they're actually really good. But so that was the Microsoft and Bethesda.
Xbox Bethesda Showcase 2022.
Thank you. If I don't read it, I say it wrong.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Yeah. What was I going to say? What was your grade for this show?
I'd give it a B.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a solid B as well.
I would as well.
I was going to say
Because
B minus.
there was a lot of great stuff, but there was nothing that's like there was no mind blowing thing where we're gonna be like talking about it weeks from now. You know what I mean? Like there's no.
As far as games, no, but I think like the
Starfield.
Riot Games thing.
I was going to say,
the
CB's
Kojima-
face says Starfield.
Yeah,
We're talking about that for years.
yeah. But I think that the bigger shockers were the either acquisitions or stuff that's coming to Xbox that
I mean,
hasn't before.
that Riot Games partnership, where part of your Game Pass you just have every League character instead of having to buy them piecemeal, that's insane. Because I feel like League of Legends players would pay $15 a month for just that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what a deal. And not to mention, of course, you get all of their other games have perks. You get every character in Valorant and stuff like that. I mean, that like really rocked my mind when I saw that. Like, that's such a big partnership.
So you're going to get a bunch of PC players over, to just subscribe for that, and then they're going to also be in the Xbox zeitgeist, for everything else. And like, look at all these other games you can play.
So smart, right? Because you're like, well, I guess I'll subscribe to this because I don't want to pay for the characters. Oh, what's this Starfield all about?
Right.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to change my grade.
Yeah.
I'm
going to go with a B plus.
Okay.
Simply for one reason. All of us, we've all been complaining about this for a long time, that we're tired of seeing just cinematic trailers for games that are coming years down the road. And they're like, yep, all this stuff, next 12 months. And here's a bunch of gameplay footage. So, I mean, they legitimately did what we asked them to do.
I'm not going to bump to B plus, but I'll bump it up to a B. How about that?
So.
But that is a good point. Like, it's like they listened. They read Twitter, and they saw that people are tired of seeing CG trailers. They want to see gameplay. And, I think that they understand that fans like us don't like to watch people talking on stage about this as much. I mean, I think people like us do, because we're interested in seeing the face of the developers that make these games. But I think most people are just want to see the gameplay.
Yeah,
I want to get info about the game.
There wasn't a lot of fluff and filler.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't The Rock or Jim Carrey or
or a Lamborghini being lowered from the ceiling.
And that's why it gets a B. If you want an A, you have to go back to the good old days where developers are playing games on stage.
Dude, I miss that.
You can't get an A plus unless you play The Last of Us live on stage. It goes flawlessly, and then you drop your DualShock 3 like the mic when you're done. That was such an epic moment.
I always wonder if they're actually playing those, though, when they do that, if they're actually playing it live.
Well, I think, remember, Uncharted 4 froze.
Right. Like that one, obviously. But some of them, like we were, like, do you remember when, Zach, when you and I went to see Dying Light 2 at E3, and the guy was, quote-unquote, playing it in front of us? Like, granted, that's all he does all day is play that same section over and over again, but it was flawless. Like, just absolutely flawed. There were no mistakes, nothing. In my mind, while I was watching that, I was like, he's not playing this. He is.
No,
This is recorded.
I believed him, I guess.
Yeah? Okay.
Well, because I know, like, back in, I remember Uncharted 2, I think it was, when they were doing their first gameplay demo, they talked about how they had the one person on stage playing or whatever, but then they had, like, 3 other people playing the game alongside him.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case something goes wrong, you can cut to a different video feed.
Oh, okay. That's smart.
So I think
Or
people are really playing.
Remember when we went to the Xbox one, they actually had, like, all the stuff set behind the stage. Like we went to actually, like, demo some of the games and stuff behind the actual stage. So there was stuff set back up there. So that's an interesting thought. Okay, well, let's go ahead and move on. That was quite the news segment. Before we get on to the games we've been playing, I want to remind everybody about our Patreon page where you can subscribe and on the monthly basis, get some bonus content. Go to patreon.com/thegocast. $3 a month will get you 1 bonus episode, and $5 a month will get you 2 bonus episodes each and every month. CB, what can they check out right now, and what's coming up in the future?
Well, our Sonic 2 movie spoiler cast and legacy episode,
which I listened to. It's great, except for the time you guys called me an a-hole.
Well, I mean,
you had it coming.
It's Patreon. We can do things like that. Trade Off, our new series where Scott and Kevin are squaring off Zelda and Sonic.
We're gonna be doing another one, by the way. He's playing.
I know.
Link's Awakening, and I got to play Sonic Generations. That was a fun discussion. So
that's actually an upcoming future episode,
mm-hmm.
as well as our hopefully soon to be recorded Break the Seal of Max Payne 1 and 2.
You gonna play that?
I have some time coming up.
All right, you should play that.
Don't you have to finish it, Scott?
I do. I got to finish 2. So
it's okay, because remember, soon, Scott, I will have 5 days off, and you will be coming over and getting tormented with some terrible games.
Okay, sounds fun-ish. But again, if those or any of our past episodes sound interesting to you, head over to patreon.com/thegocast. We do appreciate the support, as do our listeners. With that, let's jump into the new games that we've been playing. All right, Zach, what's new on the horizon for us to be able to pick up this week? Anything?
We got The Hand of Merlin, which is an Arthurian legend retelling mixed with Eldritch Horror's CRPG. Looks kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC June 14th. This one's for Nate Lucas. Jurassic World Evolution 2 Dominion Biosyn expansion makes its way to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and PC June 14th. The aforementioned Neon White Mirror's Edge card game comes to Switch and PC June 16th. Racing game Redout 2, a very F-Zero-E, comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC June 16th.
I'd say it's actually more akin to Wipeout than F-Zero.
Yeah, sorry, maybe I got it mixed up. Either way, Starship Troopers Terran Command RTS comes to PC June 16th. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge with its 6-player co-op and pizza coupon if you buy it physically comes to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch and PC June 16th. Zorro the Chronicles is a 3D platformer based on what I could find was a cartoon show canceled 5 or 6 years ago.
I had never heard of this cartoon before.
I hadn't
going on
either.
Here.
It was very short-lived.
Yes, that's what I felt. It looked like it ran for 26 episodes 6 years ago, and now there's a game coming out.
I don't even think it got the full 26 episodes.
It's a very strange video game choice.
Yeah.
Is what we're getting.
By the
Looks
way-
cute, though.
It looks
Well, I was
fun.
going to say, this
Yeah.
trailer reminds me of those mobile game trailers that have nothing to do with the actual game, but they make the trailer look like the spouse is with another person.
Oh,
Like
one of
that, those graphics.
Yeah, I know
Yes,
what you're
it is,
talking about.
Yeah, stylistically.
That's just what it reminded me of. I'm sorry.
To me, it reminded me of the good old days of the PS2 licensed tie-in.
Mm-hmm.
Only half a decade too late.
True. Yeah.
But
As
Zorro the Chronicles, it looks fun. Comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC June 16th. And then Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, which is Uncharted 4, bleh, and Uncharted Lost Legacy, comes to PC June 20th. What, Alyssa, are you excited about any of these games?
Not really. No.
I like it. I like your answer. I assume CB and Scott are all in on TMNT.
Oh,
We've already got characters picked out.
yeah, we've already discussed who's going to be playing which character.
Who's got dibs on who?
Well, why don't you guess?
Yeah.
CB Raphael?
Close.
Casey Jones?
No.
I feel like those guys are close. Okay, well,
Leonardo?
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo.
I'm just guessing.
Michelangelo.
Scott
I'm a
Leonardo.
Mikey guy all day.
Mikey's great. Hey, he was the
I
last
love Mikey
Ronin,
as well.
right?
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
And the,
clearly you can actually see the Ninja Turtle wallpaper in the background on the wall behind me.
oh wow.
Makes for great
Well,
radio.
in the comics, they jump to the future and all the other turtles are dead. It's only Mikey left.
Yep.
Huh.
So, Scott Leonardo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Easy. What about Nate?
Oh, Nate's in this.
Yep.
Well, is he a
was a
Donatello
little
guy?
He's actually a Leo guy, but he settled for Donatello because I got
Hey.
dibs on Leo.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna make Kevin Casey Jones.
And we
I'd
got
play
room
as
for
April.
2 more. We got April and Raphael. So I just want to play 6 players just to see how it works.
Man, see, I wish they would bring in like the other characters like Metalhead.
I mean, 6 players is quite a bit.
Well, I know, but I'm saying other like characters you could be playing.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I think if I joined in, I would play Raphael or April. No problem.
Yeah,
Just
you're
looks like a lot of fun.
kind of snarky sometimes.
So yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Sure. Let's move on to Mario Strikers Battle League on the Switch. I have heard nothing but negative things, so I hope you have happier things to report, Scott.
You've heard negative things about that.
I've pretty much. I guess just the scuttlebutt online is all like, how dare they charge $60 for this?
I could kind of see that. Here's the thing: the game is mechanically sound. The tutorial is very intuitive. It teaches you starts you at the super basics of like, here's how you move your character: tilt the left stick and run around in a circle. They
Sounds real Skyward Sword.
not that bad, but they do because some of the mechanics actually get it's simple, but not it's simple but complex at the same time, because everything works like a Nintendo game does, where it's like one button or a combination of two buttons. But it takes some practice to get used to which one is which and where things go. Like, this game is all about, passing and then lining up your shot to be able to fire on the goal, or passing with precision, and then the super moves and everything like that. They teach you how to play the game very well. The power moves, I can't remember what they're called, but basically you have to hold a button down in order to wind up to do this powerful move, but the only way that you can do that is if you collect like the special icon on the screen that gives you the power move. So it becomes a race to see which team can get that icon first. And then it takes time to actually wind up the super move kick, which is a risk reward, because if they slide tackle you, then it just cancels it out altogether. So that's kind of fun. It's a fun soccer game, and this is coming from a guy that hasn't played the original Mario Strikers games at all. I think there was one on Wii and one on GameCube, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the GameCube one I had a lot of fun with.
I did not play either of them, so this is kind of my introduction to it. But for me, playing against the computer just isn't a ton of fun. I just the mechanics work great; it works just fine. But this is a game that just feels completely like it is designed for you to play with your buddy or buddies, which is what I want to do. And you can play online. I have not had the opportunity to do so yet, but the complaint that I think a lot of people are having is just the lack of stuff to do, because really the only options you have are to play a single match against a computer opponent, play a single match against an online opponent, or do this online tournament style thing that's not available for another 10 days. So there's not like a career mode where you go through and you pick your team and you go through the ranks or whatever. It doesn't work like that. You just have basically a double elimination bracket that you have to try to survive to win the whole thing, and that's the entire single player gameplay. So on one hand, I understand the complaint, but to me, it just doesn't feel like a game that's designed to be played by yourself. This is a game that's designed to either play against a buddy, or 2-on-2 would just be a ton of fun.
Why the 10-day wait?
I don't know. I really don't know. It just says this. When you go to that in the menu, it says this will be available in 10 days. It was down to 9 when I jumped into it, but
Nintendo does do that though, don't they? Where they just really like you in Super Mario Maker, like, yeah, we'll unlock the platforms in 4 days or whatever.
Right.
Okay, I'm actually wondering if it's not letting people get used to like how to play the game.
Dude, people have played soccer games for a while.
But this one.
And that's what I thought at first, CB, but then I was thinking about if you bought this game to play over the weekend or whatever, and now there's nothing for you to do, that would be pretty infuriating.
Or maybe people ordered it through like online and they're waiting for everybody to get their copy.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking about like when a new game comes out, if you make time for it. So
I'm trying to think of like legitimate reasons why they could have done this.
I know. There's not one.
No.
No,
so that's they're not wrong. That's the biggest complaint. There's just very little to do. I mean, I don't play a ton of sports games, but when I do play them, I'm playing with a friend, like head to head, or on the couch or whatever. That's why I play them. Or I'm going through to do like some kind of career mode. You know what I mean? I'm not looking for a dynasty thing like Madden does, where like you build a player and no, I'm not looking for that. But I want to play through a tournament kind of thing where the players are really easy at first, and I got a little bit of a story mode, and my team goes on, and I get a gold cup at the end or something like that. And it's so bare bones here, where it's just a simple bracket, and I'm not super into it. With that said, I don't like this either, honestly, there's like customization, where like when you win matches, you earn coins, and then you can use those coins to buy customizable things for each individual player. Like Mario, Luigi, Toad, Princess, Donkey Kong, Bowser, all these have their own individual stats. Like Bowser's obviously going to be more powerful. Peach is going to be quicker. You know what I mean? It's things like that. Or Toad's going to be quicker. And you can get these things that look like they should be cosmetic, but they actually increase those stats based on what you have equipped. So that's like your real only progression is to, take these coins and purchase upgrades that just, I don't know. That's not fun to me. Like, I don't know. I feel like a whiner saying that, but I don't feel compelled to go play this unless I've got CB or Nate or somebody over to play with me. Just to have that, because the game is great. The soccer is super fun. The passing works great. When you get those power goals. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to tell you. Those power shots I told you about that you have to like wind up. Once you do that, it brings up like a little meter where you have to like get the needle to fall in between the green zone, as we've done in like so many different games. But if you hit the green zone on both of them, and the speed of that determines on which character you have, but if you get inside that green zone on both of them, you're guaranteed to get the goal. There's just nothing that the defense can do to stop it. But you also get 2 goals when you score it. So that becomes kind of a game changer. When you're down by 2 goals, instead of being down by 1, you actually have a shot if you're down by 2, which is kind of a cool little feature. So, and there's power-ups on the screen too. So, remember the little dicey things from Mario Kart?
Yeah.
The cubes. You can run over those. They'll give you either a mushroom, which will make you run faster, a star, which will make you invincible, those kinds of things. So typical Mario stuff. But I'm enjoying it. I just wish that there was a little bit more to it. It feels like it should have been a $40 title instead of a $60 title with what it is. But
just multiplayer games in general are just a harder pitch in the current market.
I agree.
Charging for them, I guess, rather.
Mm-hmm.
When there are so many free-to-play options. Even eFootball, free-to-play.
Agreed. So that is Mario Strikers Battle League. I like it. I just wish there was more. So if you've got friends to play with, it's an easy recommend. But if you're planning to play by yourself, I'd say wait for a sale, but this is Nintendo, so it really doesn't matter.
So CB, you've been playing a game called Freshly Frosted. It's a little tricky to say. I was watching the trailer, and it looks cute, and it also made me hungry because there's so many donuts and cookies in the trailer. Can you tell us about what it's like to play it?
Well, I was going to say, do you like donuts?
I love donuts.
Okay. Now, take your love of donuts, and do you love utter organized chaos?
Maybe.
Like maddening chaos.
I don't know about maddening chaos.
Okay. So Scott actually got to watch me play this for a few minutes. So you are running an imaginary bakery in the clouds.
An imaginary bakery?
Yes.
Like in the game it's imaginary?
So there's a narrator voice who's dealing with like trying to calm down, and her thoughts are apparently the best way to calm down is think of making donuts. Yeah, it sounds weird.
I mean, whatever works for you to calm me down.
So her brain has created this system of conveyor belts and machines to make donuts. And so each level, there's 12 different chapters and 12 different levels per chapter, so a dozen.
The last level is going to be a baker's dozen. That's like that's the name of the last section, and there's going to be 13 levels.
Probably.
Just calling it.
But so you start with the conveyor belt that spits out a donut, and you have to get it to the delivery area. But to do that, sometimes you need donuts that are frosted and sprinkled with whipped cream, and sometimes even with a cherry on top. And so you have to basically place a conveyor belt through a system of machines to accomplish this. And sometimes you have up to 4 or 5 different machines making 5 different donuts, but you're using limited space and multiple machines that you have to guide through.
Let me jump in just a little bit, see, because I want to kind of paint the picture for everybody, because I didn't get to play this, but I watched you play it for a minute. This is a grid-based game. So you're basically looking down on a factory that has different stations at sections of the grid, and your job is to create conveyor belts. That's all you do, is you click and drag conveyor belts from one place to the other, but you have to do it in a proper order based on what kind of donuts it's asking you to make. So if it asks you for frosted donuts, you have to draw a path from the donut receiver or initial donut maker, draw a path to where the frosting is, and then eventually make a conveyor belt to land on the receiving area, more or less. So then you have to look at what else they need. This one needs sprinkles and frosting. So you have to draw a path to get to the sprinkles and the frosting. But you can also intersect those conveyor belts so that as long as they all go to the same place. Does that make a little more sense?
It makes sense. It just doesn't seem like a calming thing to do when this character is trying to calm down.
It's not, because I was looking at Scott's face while playing this, and he was getting stressed.
Well, to be fair, you have been playing it for several hours. I walked in when you were at like the last level of a world. They call them boxes in this game. You were at the last level of this box, and when you're halfway through the level and you're watching everything going, I'm like, I don't even understand what I'm looking at right now. It just looks insane. But then he actually went back and showed me some of the earlier levels to show me how this thing works, and I got it. It is a game that would stress you out to look at it when you have a almost finished puzzle, but I could kind of see the relaxing nature of it because there's no time constraint. You have no timer on you. You don't have to get this solved in any specific amount of time. You just sit back and stare at the screen and try to figure your way through these paths. And I can see the appeal of this game. I thought it looked pretty good.
Okay.
So you ready for the real stressor, Scott?
Oh, I don't know. You got to the spot where they had like switches that
multi-switches.
Yeah.
So each world introduces something new to throw, and you can actually skip to the final levels. I took a look ahead.
Oh yeah.
So you saw one that was what, like 36 to like 45 square grid.
Sure.
Final level. Has over 255 moves.
Oh
my god.
And it's an achievement. It's like, make a donut chain that requires 255 moves. And I'm like, because before, like, I'm on world 5. Well, now I'm on world 6.
Now, by moves, you mean like it means from start for it coming out of the donut maker and then moving one square is one move. Is the board the same size?
I didn't count the squares because it was a lot.
But I mean, is it bigger than like the map you were looking at when I was watching you play it?
Much bigger.
Okay. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah. I looked at it and I was just like, oh my word. Like, and there was things that I haven't even seen yet on the board.
Did you really say, oh my word?
Oh my word. Well, I can't say my preferred things on a family friendly podcast.
I'm feeling verklempt. Oh my word.
Hey, I'm just trying to get used to you, man. I'm going to be 40 soon too.
Wow.
Not me, not anytime soon.
But I love this game because it definitely scratches like that outside the box thinking. Like I like 4D chess.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you think in like different types of ways, and this is definitely the type of game that requires people that can think multiple moves ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are times, so I'm back into a new world where you cannot have the conveyor belts intersect.
Oh, well, that changes things for me.
Yeah, so it's like conveyor belt 1 has to make a path to this one because they'll have multiple donut receivers.
This feels like the epitome of a game that I would enjoy and hit like a wall and be like, I'm going to come back to it, and then I won't come back to it for a month, and I would start where I left off, and I would just be stressed out like crazy.
Yeah.
So this is a game that you just have to persevere and keep going. Otherwise, you're just going to lose. It's a game that eases you into it for sure.
Yeah, and I'm loving it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Yeah, except donuts. It's time to make the donuts.
Nice. So that is freshly frosted. I think I'm going to have to try that one out one of these times as well. Let's see, Zach, you've been playing Super Perils of Baking, which...
We have a theme going on here.
Yeah,
Right.
apparently.
The hot rush on baking-themed video games.
Which I didn't know was a thing at all. This is the one that's a platformer where you collect cookies instead of coins, right? Am I thinking of the right game?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much Super Mario Brothers 3, or Super Mario World, but with a cookie theme over everything. Yeah.
Okay, I can't tell by the look on your face how you feel about this game. So,
Oh no, I think it's okay. It's let's see. I mean, it is straight up a platformer, except for like when you get fully powered up, instead of shooting fireballs, you're throwing whisks.
All right.
And instead of Goombas, you're jumping on cookies, evil cookies who have come alive. Instead of coins, you're collecting cookies. I think it's charming in all the right ways, and there are even minecart levels like Donkey Kong Country, which is fun. And there you can collect the letters CAKE in every level. There are secret worlds and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely a charming little thing. The levels go by brisk and easy, which is nice. The story is kind of cute because it's told in rhyme throughout the whole thing, so it feels like a storybook.
Oh, that's cute.
And it's about like I think there were two baking brothers, but they both use these different top tier chef hats, but the one was an evil chef hat, so it turned his brother evil. So you have to go rescue your brother.
Oh.
So that's pretty silly. But you know what I really like is every time you defeat an enemy, you get an encyclopedia entry, but it has a recipe for the enemy.
Like how to make that enemy.
Yeah, so it'll be like roll your dough out into 5 pieces, add chocolate chips, sprinkle in some malice, bake for 5 minutes, attach eyes afterwards.
That's kind of clever.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Is this a difficult platformer, or is it a pretty laid back?
I would say it has a really nice difficulty ramp. Like it starts really laid back, and then it gets a little more intense towards the end.
Huh.
But it's Lily Mo Games who made Habroxia 2, if you remember that.
I do remember that.
This is very much another, like, it's $10, you can blast through it in a weekend kind of game, which, I don't know, it's nice.
I like those. I really do.
I like it because there are a lot of, sprite-based kind of throwback games, but, like, so far, the studio is not interested in, the games don't try to be anything more than they are.
Right.
Like, it just wants to be a Mario Bros. 3 kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
There's no hidden skill trees or some kind of subversion. It's really just like, this is the kind of game you would have rented from the grocery store while your mom was checking out, sort of thing.
I like it. And
$10.
$10.
Very specific example. Yeah, $10 and not. What's cool, I don't think I've ever seen this for a game before. It has a PS4 and a PS5 version that you get both for the same price, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're different trophy lists.
Oh.
And
Nice.
I'm not saying like, Spider-Man where it is like you can technically double platinum it because it has 2 trophy lists. Like the trophies themselves are different.
Oh, wow.
So the PS4 version is all this like, collect every letter on every level, but then like the PS5 version is these incredibly difficult, I don't know how you would even do it sort of things. So like if you wanted an easy attainable platinum, get the PS4 version, but if you want to pull your hair out trying to get an absurdly difficult one, download the PS5 version.
I've never seen that before.
No, I haven't either.
It was very unique, and to me, I'm like, could developers have done this all these years and they just never have?
I mean,
like,
it's
what
probably
a fun idea.
I get the impression that with some developers, achievements are just like a necessary evil. Like they just have to
that's
come up
probably
with
fair.
something. You know what I mean? And this developer put some thought into it enough that they made different lists. I mean, think about it. That actually, if you're an achievement hunter or a trophy hunter in this case, it kind of incentivizes you to play both versions of it.
Right, and even more so when it's not the same trophy list,
Right.
Yeah.
when it's
I mean, it kind of adds some longevity to your game, too. It gives you more things to do. I mean, they could have just as easily put all those achievements into one trophy list and just made the trophy list larger,
right.
or less valuable or something, but they actually took the extent to make 2 different lists. That's actually really cool.
It's very
I
clever.
really appreciate that.
I do, too.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see
So,
that thing going forward.
Yeah, it's taking the extra mile, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the game itself is it's really fun. It's nice to. Yeah, there aren't a lot of games for $10 anymore.
I agree.
That's true.
And I miss the
I'm
$10
almost-
for a weekend kind of thing. Like you said, I mean, we do that with a movie, although movies like $15 now, depending on where you go, you know.
Fair enough.
We need to get okay with spending $10 for a 3-hour game. You know?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 hours. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, it is definitely a weekender. It seems like a perfect for Game Pass too. But
Mhm.
I guess not every game can be on there.
No.
But it's definitely worth $10 if you like platformers.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for checking that one out. Let's go ahead and talk about our social media outlets before we get to our topic of the week. I'm very excited. We've got our Facebook group available at facebook.com/groups/thegocast, and also our Discord community. There's a link for that in the show notes. If you get a chance, drop us a review. We really do appreciate that. And lastly, our website, thegamingoutsider.com. You can find all of our episodes as well as our written content, which includes this week Alyssa's review of Trek to Yomi, my review of Blast Brigade, highly recommend that game, Zack's review of Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song, and Rel's review of Ayuden Chronicle Rising. So again, check out all of that stuff at thegamingoutsider.com. We're going to go ahead now and jump into our From the Outside In topic. Okay, guys, I am so excited. I can't believe that I'm sitting here recording my technically 401st, but we're calling it episode 400. Our 400th episode.
Don't ruin the illusion. It's the 400th episode we're recording, guys.
Our 400th episode. It's just kind of nuts to me. And it kind of coincides. It's actually like our 8-year anniversary as well, because we started, I believe it was in June. At least I started with you guys. Well, you know, when we had the new crew, I know we started in June. So it's at like the 5 or 6 year anniversary with you guys. Can you believe it's been that long, by the way? It's just nuts.
No, it's weird because when you say it out loud, it sounds like a lot of time, but I guess because you're focused so much week to week, you don't really notice how much time is passing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just something that it's become such a part of my life. It's just part of my weekly routine. I just don't even think about it like, oh yeah, it's podcast night. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like I don't look forward to it because I do. I genuinely look forward to sitting down and talking with all three of you, or whichever combination of the three of you that I get each week. And I'm very proud that we're here at episode 400. It hasn't been easy, and to be clear, this is the first time we've ever done any kind of celebration of a milestone. We didn't do one for 100, 200, or 300, but I just really wanted to this time around because I want everyone out there to know, just number one, how much they mean to me that are actually listening to this episode, because I'm just another dude that's playing video games, sitting here in front of a microphone talking about games. But there's a lot of work.
Here's a gamer standing in front of his audience, asking them to love you.
Exactly.
I thought of Notting Hill as well.
That's one of my favorite romantic comedies. I adore that movie. But I wanted to find out, what it meant to you guys as well, because obviously it means a lot to me. It's a lot of work. We put a lot of work into this, and a lot of the work isn't even me. Nate produces this thing. I don't know if this show would still be going if I had to produce this show every week. He's so much better at technology stuff than I am, or like editing, and he's such a sound file. So shout out to Nate, because it's very nice to be able to sit here and record, take some edit points, and then have him, kind of do his magic and make us sound halfway decent. So thanks to Nate. But I wanted to ask you guys, because I know you haven't been here since the very beginning, when we started with the new crew. But what does, the Gaming Outsider mean to you? Why have you stuck around and done this show with me for as long as you have? Zach, I'm going to start with you.
Oh boy. Well, even before I was on the mic, I was reviewing games for the Go. So, the Go, it's, even though it was games like of Elix quality.
That was your first game, wasn't it?
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, somewhere along there. But or I would even Aaron of the Hollywood Outsider asked me to help you edit things even before that. I feel like
probably
written anyway. But the point is, yeah, the Go's been a part of my life forever. So I guess it is. It came along when I was feeling especially directionless in life, so it kind of gave me something to focus on, which was super nice while I was trying to make my way in Chicago, having just moved there and stuff, and so it gave me this focal point, which is cool. And it was nice too, because I would always wanted to be on a podcast anyway, so this was kind of perfect that it all came together. That it would be about video games, because I have such an encyclopedic knowledge of it that otherwise would be wasted on nothingness. Not that it feels, it doesn't always feel useful, but I definitely have this weird brain for remembering stuff about video games, and so it's nice to have an outlet for it. And then I never thought people would want to listen to me, let alone seem to like me. Some, not everybody likes me, and that's fine. But big shout out to the Parker Sons in the Discord, of course.
Zach, I don't like you, Zach.
Well, that's weird. I thought you were a Parker Son.
I love you.
Oh, nice.
I had to do it.
Somehow I didn't see that coming.
I didn't either. I was trying to figure out where she was going with that. I was like,
I know she really sold me on it.
She had a very serious look on her face. Like,
I know.
I don't like you, Zach. I love you.
Oh man!
Yeah,
finally.
Sorry for the scare. I had to do it.
I mean, you are the star of the show, man.
Yeah, that is what one person has said. That's true. But yeah,
Zach Parkerson and the Gaming Outsider.
Yeah, well, look, we're not all Scott Clark. Calm down. Nobody can be you. We're just the Gaming Outsider. You're Scott Clark.
Oh Jesus.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it hasn't always been, especially as the games industry kind of keeps moving away from why I fell in love with it. It can be harder to find games to talk about, but this podcast keeps me in the know, and I can find those games like that Flintlock game or whatever that I'll probably like. And yeah, I don't know. It's nice, and it's nice that people seem to care about us. And yeah, editing reviews, I never thought would be such a part of my life. I never thought I would be editing thousands of documents in my adult life, but here we are.
Yeah,
and I'm not even a teacher.
Well, we appreciate you doing all the editing. I know it's hard work.
I appreciate you and Alyssa for what you guys do with our editing process. I have kind of delegated to the two of you, so my job is basically to put a final stamp of approval on those reviews and get them out and published and everything, and that's so nice.
Don't lie. You're just glad that you don't have to deal with my hatred of commas.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
Yeah, CB and his commas.
Well, that's gonna. I don't want anybody to feel called out to our writers out there. But it's kind of nice seeing the people who actually listen to my feedback and want to engage with it, and like the quality of writing increases over time.
Yeah,
CB a great example, I tell you.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or
nice.
not. I mean, to be fair, I've been told by both you and Scott that it has gotten a lot better over the years.
Yeah, I'm being serious. Yeah, well, it's especially funny like to see who learned typing when, because you could tell based on if they use double spaces after a period or not.
Yep.
No, I actually was taught double spacing.
Yeah.
I had to retrain my brain to not use double spaces, and I don't do it now. And I see it drives me crazy. But the control, find, and replace all function.
Yes,
is quite nice.
A godsend.
To be fair, it's even affected me at work because I only single space after periods now.
Nice, it works.
Yeah, I was always taught to single space. I wasn't taught to double space.
Yeah, we were raised in a different age bracket.
Or it could be a geographical demographic as well.
I suppose, yeah.
Me and Zach are only a year apart, I think. So
right, even though you cast her as my daughter in our.
That's why I was like, father and daughter.
I was quoting
the
movie. I was quoting Empire Strikes Back. We could rule the galaxy together as father and son.
You had a way kinkier vision of that empire than I did.
Oh, you always got to make it interesting, don't you, man?
Hey, Lisa. At least I'm consistent.
No, but Zach, I absolutely love having you on the show. These past couple months, when the schedules haven't aligned and you haven't been able to be here as much as normal, because like you're here pretty much every week up to that. I've missed you, man. I'm not knocking CB or Alyssa whatsoever here, but I adore sitting and talking with you about games. I think one of my favorite memories of you was, I don't even know which one, but going to E3, not even like on the floor, because we didn't spend a ton of time together on the floor because we kind of divided and conquered, but it was so much fun coming back to our Airbnb, our roach-infested, Compton-laden, Airbnb.
Yeah, air conditioned well beyond your liking.
Oh my God, Zach wants to live in the Arctic, I swear. And I didn't pack. I was packed for LA when we went to E3.
You need a pack for Minnesota.
I didn't even bring a sweatshirt because why would I bring a sweatshirt to LA? Like, why would I? And I didn't have anything to keep myself warm, and all I had was a sheet.
You had Zach's love.
And just future warning, if that ever happens again and it's this cold, we have to share a room and it's this cold, I'm total snuggle bunnying you next time and we're sharing the bed. Because
why do you think I turned it down so low? I was trying to get it in there.
No, but
I need a cold room as well, so I get Zach's point of view. So
it just drove me crazy. I literally had to wrap myself in this sheet and breathe in and out as much as I could just to warm up the inside of this cocoon that I had in there and try to be able to fall asleep because it was bad. But no, but seriously, like sitting across from you, and it didn't even feel like we were recording a podcast. It just felt like we were just chatting and like we had just gotten back from the floor and couldn't wait to share with each other what we had seen. You know what I mean? We had our lists and everything. You had your little notepad. Because he does everything with handwritten notes. I'm the nerd that's in there typing notes on my phone. And we just sat and chatted about everything we saw, and it was just so much fun. We were high on the experience of being there, and then exhausted, but still just couldn't wait to come back and talk about those episodes. It was just absolutely glorious. It was so much fun. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, recording in person in general is a different energy, but yeah, that trip was great.
Both of them, but I think the first one, when we were sitting on the couch kind of side by side with the mic in between us, was those were the first like magical moments that you and I shared together, where it was just you and I recording, because it felt great. We got to watch some of the press conferences on TV. We ate Taco Bell every night.
Yeah, shout out to Taco Bell.
It was awesome. And that video that we took when we stayed in Compton 4 years ago actually popped up on my Time Hop this week. I'm gonna have to post that or share that with you when we like gave a tour of that place that was like an old barber shop that we stayed in.
Oh, I want to see this.
Oh my goodness!
Someone made that screen cap of us with the Straight Outta Compton album cover. Or whatever.
Yep, that was pretty funny. Like we literally got up in the middle of the night because there was a high-speed chase that ended.
That was our first night.
Right across the street from where we were staying. Like helicopters with spotlights were flying around. It was like that. We joked about it being that Dane Cook bit where he's like, I was in my kitchen, I was cleaning a dish, I heard a noise, and I came out.
Yeah, we did, and we went out.
We went out, and we were like, I think I actually said that the girl standing outside said to us, I was inside and I heard this noise and I came out.
Yes, she did. Oh my God, she did. You're right.
And we were like seriously trying not to laugh because there's like something horrible going on there. But that was my introduction to LA. That was a good time. So
Absolutely.
Zach, thank you for being here. Please don't ever go anywhere because I adore recording with you. I'm envious of your encyclopedic knowledge. You correct me all the time when I jack up a developer's name or something like that, and I appreciate it. And you also keep me grounded. You don't have a problem telling me the way it is. You don't sugarcoat things, but you're also not a jerk about it, and I sincerely appreciate that. So
I try not to be a jerk. I mean, I just corrected you on Layers of Fears earlier.
Yeah, but I mean, I want to know when I make a mistake. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I guess the Gaming Outsider generally has given me friends I never would have. I knew you before this, but we weren't as tight as we are now.
No, for sure.
Despite our Gears of War years, and then I got to meet CB and Alyssa here, and Nate and Christina, and all kinds of folks.
And then not to mention the people from the community too. It's just it's been great. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of them wrote in.
All right.
With them later, but it's Gaming Outsider, I guess, changed my life.
There you go. Alyssa, how about you?
Yeah.
What's kept you here for as long as you are?
Well, I'm the newbie. I've only been here about, has it been 2 years, year and a half? Something of that nature?
It's hard to
blows my mind because it just seems like, and I don't mean this in a bad way at all, it just feels like a couple months ago that you joined. It's just flies by.
I know, it's flown by. But, I mean, I started out, like Zach said, I was writing for the site, and Scott kept telling me, we should get you on the show as a guest. And finally, we got me on as a guest, and then Scott was talking, and he's like, "We'd like to bring you on as a co-host, so you'd switch out with Zack or CB." And I was really excited about that because, like Zack, I was kind of directionless at that time, and I just already loved you guys. So to be able to come on this podcast, and I know I'm an awkward person. I'm sure it was way more awkward when I first started, but just to be welcomed by you guys and just to have what I consider to be a safe space has been just so wonderful. And I adore recording with all of you so much. And I love, sharing my love of games with you guys and like having Zack as my weeb friend. And, CB's got all these awesome collectibles and he loves Godzilla and I love Godzilla. And Scott's just an incredible human being. He's the head of all this, and you guys just make me laugh so much. And I don't laugh a lot usually, but every episode I'm just laughing my hideous laugh. And I just love being with you guys. You make me happy, and I am going to have to come and visit all of you and give you huge bear hugs because you deserve it and I need hugs. So this has just brought me so much friendship, and I love everyone on the team, all the writers, everyone that's listening. Thank you for putting up with me and for continuing to listen with me. I know it was probably jarring when I first came on, and also I know you'd probably prefer Zack since he's been gone. You probably prefer listening to him, but thank you for listening to me instead. But I love all of you, and I love this experience, and I want to stick around as long as I can.
Well, we love you, Alyssa. You've been a great addition to the show. Your knowledge of things Japanese just boggles my mind. I don't. You talk about a different anime every week, and I'm like, how are you finding all these? I don't know even what's going on, and it's definitely like a dark point or a dark spot in my experience in life is like all the Japanese things that you bring to the table. So I appreciate your perspective, but the number one thing I appreciate about you is just your 100% optimism in everything. I mean, I don't know if you guys follow her on Twitter. She's at Lyssarie, Lyssarie. Did I spell that right?
That's correct.
I have never seen a checkmarked person on Twitter that is as positive and outgoing and complimentary to perfect strangers as Alyssa White. She is just the most friendliest, goes out of her way to try to do something to make somebody have a nice day and make them smile. And that's something that's just sheerly devoid in today's society. So you are definitely a bright spot of the internet and a bright spot of this podcast. So thank you so much for being here.
Dude,
thank you.
It makes me happy because she's the first person that shows up on my Instagram feed all the time.
Yeah.
Yep, and it's always just like, yep, it's gonna be a good day.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. That makes me feel pretty.
CB, how about you, man?
Insanity.
Yeah,
you're like, why are you still here? Insanity.
Because you're insane. That's why you stick around.
No, I mean, there's so much. It's the community getting to interact with everybody. I love talking with my friends because you're all my friends. Like talking about like one of my favorite things, which is video games, and it's insane to think like how far we've all come with this. I actually looked it up earlier today. The very first episode I was ever on.
Mm-hmm.
November 23rd, 2015.
Wow, that was 7 years ago. 6.5 years ago.
Were you talking about Fallout 4, perchance?
Yeah, with Chase Christensen.
Look at that.
Oh my
Look at that
goodness.
encyclopedia brain coming with those release dates, huh?
Woo.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like it. I looked that up and I'm like, has it really been that long?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, just all the amount of people that I've got to talk with over the years or go and visit. I mean, I would have never met like Thomas Bex and like got to hang out with him in Ireland or talk with like Sean out on the West Coast. Like I just love this community because it's opened up so many new avenues and opportunities to talk with people. And without the Go, like I would have never got to achieve one of like my life goals, which is to throw a gaming convention.
I'll never forget that day. Hey, Scott, guess what? We're throwing a gaming convention. What?
Yeah, I was like, hey, I'll be by your house later. We're gonna start the details. And you're like, and I just hung up on Scott, and then just showed up at his house like an hour later, and he goes, "We're doing what? What? How?" I'm like, "We're doing it. I don't care. This is how this is gonna happen."
How many podcasts have thrown a video game convention, huh?
Yeah,
that's a good point.
It's insane,
And a
That's what I
successful
said.
one at that.
Right.
I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back, but like we did a pretty good job.
But see, and that's why that's kind of what I meant with insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Is the fact that you're one of the few people that I can be like, let's do this, and you're like, okay, let's try it.
As long as we make it work, we'll do it. As long as I get some help, not do it all myself. And that
That was honestly like one of the most fun summers I've had.
oh my god, we were literally walking up and down the street with flyers trying to get sponsors, like so many days that summer. Like we were literally walking into businesses being, "Hi, we're with the Gaming Outsider, and we're having a convention, and we'd like to advertise for you. Would you be interested in doing a sponsorship?" We just walk up and down every street in Rockford, and like we were canvassing basically. But we'd stop for lunch every Friday at Old Chicago and have some beers and eat some pizza and nachos, Italian nachos.
Yep.
And we actually got to know like the bartender. Remember? Leslie, is that her name?
Yep.
Like we became like a regular Friday thing there for that was a fun memory. That was a good day.
But like that entire summer, like it was just like, not only was it like throwing a convention, but through pure happenstance, like we got to record our own radio commercial that we actually did.
Yeah.
And then in one day we're on 2 different news stations.
I was saying,
selling some dick tickets.
Yeah. Reach down and pick it up.
I love telling that story to people.
But that's like the fun of it. And I mean, you've been there at like some of my biggest pickups.
Yep.
And some of my biggest like punts.
Little Samson.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were just there this year at MGC when I was just like, everything just kept falling into place. I would have never got to meet like people like Sissy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just insane, like the opportunities that have happened through this show. And it's a podcast.
Right.
Like it's literally one of those situations where you can tell people like, "Hey man, guess what I did this weekend?" And they're like, "No way, that's really cool." And I'm like, "Yeah, and guess what? It's all because I play video games with my friends."
Right.
And then put my voice out on the internet and people listen to it sometimes.
That's awesome, man. Well, CB, one of my favorite things about you is something that you already mentioned, and that is your ability to push me to go outside of my comfort zone. Not only with the actual games that I play, because you've made me play a lot of games I never would have played if I had met you, but even with the show. The fact that several years ago, this almost ended, because of some stuff that happened with the split with my former team. And I was just going to fold up and give it up. And you were the one that refused to let me give up. You said, "No, man, we'll get a new crew. We'll do this. And I'll co-host with you. We'll find some other people and let's make this happen." And you were the one that refused to let me give up. So I appreciate that. And, you're also pushing me. You're the reason we had a convention. You're the reason that I reached out to Sissy and Courtney and, Roger Craig Smith, anybody that we've ever had on the show. You have a very give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? They'll say no attitude. And I appreciate that. Not only that, but you've become one of my closest friends. You have, I spend a lot of the summer over at your house, either playing games or just sitting and talking or playing D&D or just drinking. I mean, it's just some of the best conversations and some of the best times I've had. And I'm very, very happy to have you here because you've got a very outgoing personality. You have a love for games, and I love you, man. So
love you too. Hey, you know what? Goonies never say die.
So you just got to remember that. If I ever feel like giving up, you gotta.
I'll drive right over to your house and I'll kick your butt. And you know I'll do it.
All right. Well, to all three of you, I know I don't get to see all three of you every week like I'd like, just because we don't like to to give Nate too much work to do, because doing a 4-man podcast is a little bit more work. But I appreciate y'all for coming every week. I don't ever have to worry about making sure everybody's here on time, and everybody seems to enjoy themselves, and we just have a really great time chatting with each other, and even chatting on text, like whenever we get in conversations. Wasn't there one time I don't even remember what we were talking about. I think this might have been before Alyssa was here. Didn't the three of us get into like a discussion about something on text where we had wildly different opinions, and it didn't quite get heated, but it got very animated? Do you remember?
Yes.
It's happened a few times.
We'll try to.
It was something about. I can't remember, but we had a.
I mean, it's totally useless thing to try to reminisce about here, but yeah, I remember, because I remember sitting on my couch, like I can remember the memory of it.
Oh, it was Microsoft buying because
Activision.
It was Microsoft buying Activision, and we had like 3 different opinions about the whole thing, but it's the most heated we've ever gotten. It wasn't even really bad, but it was definitely like we were all challenging each other for different reasons, and I really enjoyed that. So.
Yeah, I was not part of this text chain.
Yeah, that was
Don't worry, you will be in the future for
Okay.
for other just randomly stupid things.
Yeah, if we start a conversation like that, no, we got to get Alyssa in on this. She'll be on my side.
No.
So anyway, long story short, thank you all.
Oh yeah,
all three of you.
Sorry, I was going through our text log. Yeah, there were a lot of expletives in that I just noticed. So yeah, I'd say we're pretty heated.
You actually looked it up right now?
Yeah, I was just getting through it, because we don't. The three of us don't text in a group chat very often. There was some Peacemaker discussion, and then Activision. But I mean, I didn't get to read it right now. I just saw a lot of curse words.
Oh.
That's all.
I remember because you wanted to post it, Scott, and we're like, nope, that's questionable content.
It was one of those discussions where I wish we had held off and had the discussion on the podcast. Obviously, we would have had to hold back some of the language, but
right.
Like,
no, I think it was. I don't know. It was nice that we all kind of calmed down before, because it was such big news, right? It was earth shattering.
It was massive, and I called it. Just saying. You don't remember me calling that?
Nobody fought you.
Oh, okay. You were looking at me like I was. Okay. Anyway, last question I've got before we get.
I'm not looking at you. If Alyssa's on the podcast, I'm looking at her.
Ah, okay. Last question I've got before we get to the responses from the community is: do you guys have a favorite moment, whether it be recording a podcast or interacting with the community, or any time recording that we had something? What stands out to you as the funniest or most memorable or touching moment for you from being on the Gaming Outsider? CB, I'll start with you.
It's hanging right there on my wall.
I don't want to guess.
We can't see.
Well, okay. For those of you that can't see there, Zack, it was a gift of the signatures from Sissy and all that,
right?
Like Sissy, Melissa, and Courtney,
right?
Oh, that's
because
so
I
sweet.
didn't expect it at all.
Yep.
So, and then right next to it is the picture that you had done for me, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Those have from that day. Those have both actually sat on my wall, and like it's actually something that like I point out to people when they come over to my house. I'm like, see that right there? Like that's like one of my like most cherished possessions. Like
awesome.
I can tell you right now, like if something ever happened in my house, that's actually one of the first things I'm grabbing.
Aw. And the little detail on your picture, by the way, that I'm super proud of.
Yep.
Which, if people, you'd have to really zoom in on the website to look at CB's.
Pip-Boy.
His character picture is from Fallout, and he's wearing a Pip-Boy. And if you zoom in on the Pip-Boy, I had Dustin Baker, our artist, actually put on the Pip-Boy a screenshot of him playing Galaga, which is his favorite video game of all time.
Nice.
Aw.
And so, I thought I was super proud of that idea, man.
Yeah, it's a wonderful little Easter egg.
Yeah, very, very cool. Very cool. Awesome. Alyssa, what about you?
I've had several moments that just stand out, like recently. I'm sorry, Scott, trapezoids.
Okay.
That
to be fair,
makes me
Alyssa,
laugh all the time.
he got ribbed so hard at D&D the other
Oh,
night
yeah, I did.
about it.
Oh, yeah, I did.
I felt bad that you said you felt like an idiot because I laughed at it.
I
but-
feel like an idiot quite often, Alyssa, so it's not like it's a new thing.
But when I think about it, even now I start laughing.
Trapezoids. These trapezoids.
And then, the Game of the Year episode we did, which was awesome, but I remember Zack and I both saying that we would share Gamora, and it was just this whole discussion.
Oh, yeah.
That's
And
true, yeah.
I think it even leaked onto Twitter. We had a tweet discussion about it. And then just CB, your names make me laugh. The little names, you guys can't see it that are listening, but he comes up with the most clever little names. Zach does as well. And they bring me joy every time. And
She's talking about when we log into our recording
Yeah.
software, you can actually put, instead of your name, they put like a different
Yeah, you
name
can-
each week. I'm boring.
yeah.
I just say Scott.
I usually say Alyssa, but I changed mine today.
I can always tell when Alyssa's on because I can hear my audio before I see the video. And I'll log in and I immediately hear a giggle. And I'm like, got her again.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is
A couple
nice
weeks
when
ago, I saw
Agreeable.
CB's name. I started laughing, and Scott wasn't looking. He thought I was crying. That's how bad my laugh is. Like, he's like, "Oh my
brutal.
god, are you okay?" I'm like,
Yeah, like you
What?
just see him like pop up all of a sudden because he was typing something. He's like, are you okay? And she is just dying, like just laughing.
Yeah.
And Scott's like, what's going on? And I'm like, dude, she's laughing.
Uh,
He's like, and then Scott's like, why? Nobody said anything. And then he looked at my name. He's like, oh my gosh.
I don't remember what the name was. Can you say
I don't
it?
remember what the name
It was
either.
risque.
It was okay. A little dirty.
Yep.
All right. Zach, favorite moment for you?
Oh boy. I think, I mean, I love all of you guys, don't get me wrong, but it is like when I interact with the listeners and I don't know, I didn't grow up thinking people would want to hear me talk, let alone seem to, like me.
Aw.
And that's nice, because I don't always feel like I'm super likable. But all of you seem to like me, so that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I even love
Yeah.
you.
That's true. Yeah,
I mean-
you tricked me, but yeah.
To be fair, I miss you every week you're not here, dude. Like you
Oh, I do
legitimately
as
are
well.
a bright spot to my week.
Agreed.
Wow, thanks, guys. Oh boy, getting emotional stuff for me.
I mean, there's even a
Um,
group called the Parker Sons.
Yeah, that was wild.
We're
That
gonna
was
make
wild.
t-shirts now.
I can't remember. I think it might have been CJ Moore. One of our listeners made a meme when I was confident that Blue Point Games is making Bloodborne 2, and that cracked me up. But there was once I won't name names, but a listener sent me this poster in the mail that they didn't want anymore, and it came with this very touching letter, and that's probably the actual most, like, it was a very heartwarming and vulnerable letter, I guess. I don't know
Aw.
how to put that, but that's probably my favorite memory. In terms of the listeners, but because I have an incapableness to be emotional for too long, I'll get selfish real quick and just say it was cool at E3 when I was talking to the Telltale head of narrative or whatever, and asked him if he had heard of the Gaming Outsider, because you were over talking with Melissa Hutchinson, voice of Clementine, and Sissy Jones, Scott,
Mhm.
and I was talking to a Telltale developer, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm with the Gaming Outsider," and he's like, "Oh yeah, we've heard of you." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool," because like I actually wrote an editorial about one of your Batman games. He's like, "Oh yeah, I know. We shared it around the office."
Wow.
That's cool.
That was pretty insane.
That's cool, man. My moment like that, it wasn't as impressive because yours is actual for work you did. Mine was just I happened to be at the right place at the right time. I was of all places, at Red Robin, and it drives my wife crazy because anywhere we go, I run into somebody I know or somebody.
You're famous. You're Scott Clark after all.
I'm not though, but in this one case, I felt like I was, even though I just know I'm not. We were at Red Robin eating dinner, And one of the wait staff, who wasn't even our waiter, came up to me and says, "Excuse me, are you Scott Clark?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are you on a podcast called The Gaming Outsider?" I was like, "I am." He's like, "I recognized your voice from across the room and had to come over and say hi." That was the weirdest moment.
Isn't that amazing? That's amazing, though.
Yeah, it felt pretty awesome. Of course, my wife was pissed. Like, she was like,
I don't know why. Shouldn't she be so happy for you?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay,
it happens
sorry.
not like that, but I'll always run into somebody that I know or somebody that, you know what I mean? Hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. And then she's kind of sat there watching me having a conversation with somebody. But that was my holy cow moment, was, you know, somebody that listens to the show actually recognized my voice, which is kind of cool. So as for me, favorite moment, I mean, outside of the community is got to be the best. I mean, the people you guys have already mentioned, but some that we haven't, like Brian Regals out in Milwaukee. We went out to visit him, and he treated us to go into an arcade, like paid for our admission and everything, invited us to his home, showed us his collection and everything. That was awesome. There's just countless people, the people from the guys from the EXP cast. We ran into them at Midwest Gaming Classic. I mean, just so many people that I've interacted with, that I've started playing games with regularly. Joel Solinsky, CJ Moore. I don't think I would know Kevin if it weren't for the Gaming Outsider, and he's become a close friend of ours. I feel like I text him on a daily basis now. Like, it's just people that I never would have interacted with before because of this podcast. But if I had to pick an all-time favorite moment outside of E3, because if you guys haven't seen the picture of me standing under the E3 sign the first year I went, I don't think I've ever smiled as big as I have in that picture, like right there by the escalators.
I was gonna say, I mean, E3 as a whole, I guess, is the answer outside. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's been a dream of ours since we were younger, right? Is to go there, and not just to go there, but to feel like a part of it, because you've got a press pass and you're actually.
Dude, I felt like a different human being.
I did too.
Yeah.
Remember we were at the Sony area, and they're like, we're sitting in line watching someone play a game, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are pressed. You know, come up here. We want you to play this." Like, that was so weird. Like,
well, I think it was a different publisher, right? Because Sony was the thing where at first I convinced him I was part of an international press, so I got like a head of the line thing.
Yeah,
remember that? That was pretty cool. But I don't think it was Sony that did that.
I thought it was for Days Gone, when it was the demo for Days Gone.
Oh, maybe it was. And then I asked a guy how it was working with Sam Witwer.
Yep, I remember that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought of another favorite memory.
Okay.
It was E3 last year, which, by the way, loved doing E3 with you guys. My first E3, it was digital, but I log on to, I think we were using Google
Zoom.
Meets
Was it
or
Zoom?
Zoom, and Scott and CB both are wearing helmets, staring at the screen when I log on, and I'm like, ah.
No, I think we were staring off screen when you popped on.
Oh yeah, then just both turned.
Then we both kind of like quickly turned to look at you, like as soon as you popped on. To be funny. Oh, that was funny.
You looked awesome though.
It was Fallout, your Fallout helmets, wasn't it?
Yep.
The power
they were the Fallout
my
helmets,
power
yeah.
armor helmets.
Yeah. For some reason, he has
I like-
two of them. So
They're different.
I like the picture we left for CB on this camera.
Yeah,
oh,
you jerks.
God, that was funny.
It's a little too inside baseball there.
We're at the fill Alyssa in after the.
I don't know the story.
So yeah, well, I mean, basically, CB let us borrow his camera to use at E3 to take pictures and video.
Nice camera. Comes back with questionable photo.
Just like interspersed in the middle, like, and the rule was not to tell him. We weren't going to make any comment like, "Hey, just to have fun looking through those pictures."
Did you learn like a year later or something?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Because I have two of those cameras, and the one that you guys borrowed was my mom's.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a win.
Great success.
Yeah, and I'm honestly, like you said, outside of the community, Scott can attest to this because he was there, watching me utterly fangirl on John.
I was not there for the first one. You were there with Owens.
No. On the episode.
Oh, on the episode, yeah.
Like, Scott's sitting here watching me, like, getting ready to Skype call in, just, like, sweating bullets.
Yep.
Just be like, Oh my god, man! Like, are we about to do this for real?
Because that was the first one you curated. I mean, that was like your first.
That was the first episode with this group.
Yeah. With the crickets in the basement at Chad's house. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh god, those crickets.
That was amazing.
I did a PowerPoint presentation to sell you guys on Joining the Go that included clips from the movie Rockstar.
Dude, I traveled to Rockford for that presentation.
Yeah, let me tell you, folks. Nothing gets more awkward than watching Scott dressed in full business attire doing a PowerPoint presentation, and all of a sudden clips from Rockstar, the movie, come on.
Yes, that's true.
And he's like, "This is how I live my life."
Dude,
And I'm like,
it was amazing. It was amazing for me because all of my most of my family's in Rockford, and I don't ever visit because I'm not a big fan of Rockford personally. But I went there for a freaking slideshow, and when they found out, it was amazing. I really had hell to pay.
But I mean, that was before Zoom and everything was a thing.
Oh man,
gosh, it was a good time.
It has definitely been a fantastically fun, wild ride with you guys.
It has been. I still have my favorite moment. I mean, outside of the obvious ones, like meeting Sissy, Melissa, and Courtney was amazing. The end of the year episodes with Grant are seriously just so much fun. But the moment where I felt like I was fangirling was when we had Roger Craig Smith on an episode. And
the whole episode.
Yeah. If you guys aren't familiar, Roger Craig Smith is the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog, Ezio from Assassin's Creed,
Chris Redfield.
Yeah, like he was so entertaining and like just cracking me up. Like I like to go back and just listen to that episode and just hear. He was just so easygoing and fun to talk to, and he's just been kind of like an idol of mine for like a long time. And to actually be able to have him on the show was quite amazing. So that's probably my favorite moment. Anyway.
Oh wait, I know my favorite.
Okay.
Calling Assassin's Creed aggressively average.
Well, you got a lot of flack for that.
I did. It's not really my favorite, by the way. It was just that really became a thing in our community for a while.
We had actually like Nick saying it because people got annoyed by hearing
it. Gave Assassin's Creed Odyssey a 5.5 and called it aggressively average.
Well, now it's got 4K and 120 frames per second or 60 frames per second.
Well, I better go back and change my score then.
5.75.
You can, man. Anyway, we asked the community for some kind of the same questions, like why have they stuck around and listened for as long as they have, and why they like this community as much as they do. And we got some comments. We'll start on Facebook. And Alyssa, let's start with you.
Brian Lewis says, I've been listening to your podcast for 6 years, and I haven't missed an episode. I come back to your guys' show every week because I'm waiting for you to accept a slap bet from CB. Just kidding, don't do it. Love you guys, and here's to 8 more.
Oh, man.
What an interesting choice in numbers.
I agree. Like, it sounds like a threat. You guys got 8 more years.
It's like, but it's like, been listening for 6 years. Here's to another 8.
Yeah. We're gonna make it 14.
Well, he knows that we've been here for 8 years. We've been I've been doing this show for the Gaming Outsider has been here for 8 years. That's why he's saying.
Yeah,
that.
I do also like that he says, "I'm waiting for you to accept a slap," but we all know he's talking about you. See, you're on a different level than we are, man.
Jesus. I was the one that posted the question. If you would like to post the question next time, please feel free. Oh wait, you're not on Facebook.
Well, I'd probably use a pronoun. I'd probably use we instead of I. It probably goes a long way.
All right, Zach, you're up.
Oh, sure. Sean Coates writes in, I started following you guys around January or February of 2019. I just switched positions in my company from desk work to full-time driver. Driving for 8+ hours a day in LA Orange County traffic. Yeah, plenty of time to deep dive into new podcasts. I found you guys literally just by doing a podcast search for gaming, which is insane, by the way, because I don't feel like we would rate.
Right.
But back to Sean here. The first episode I ever listened to was your end of year 2018 episode, and I was hooked. Boy, he must have heard a lot about Spider-Man there.
Was that Spider-Man? I thought that was 2019. Was that 2018?
No, Spider-Man was 2018.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to question me on the Spider-Man?
I shouldn't, but in my mind it was 19 for some reason.
Of course, at that point, I had no idea how involved I'd get being on the show. And it's thanks to your focus on community and allowing your audience to be an active part of the conversation. No other podcast I heard before you guys has ever come close to that. And it's also thanks to your openness to outside input, which has allowed me the privilege to write game reviews for you guys. Mm-hmm. Seriously, I never thought I'd get here when I typed gaming podcast into my Spotify search bar. Oh yeah, and meeting you guys out here for E3 was a treat. Hopefully that happens again and I can give you all a ride. You can choose a restaurant. Yeah, Sean gave Scott and I a ride from the airport in LA, which was very nice of him.
Yep.
But he took us to this Korean restaurant of questionable quality, and now I will never. Which is not Sean's fault. I don't even think he had been there before. We just found a Korean barbecue spot.
Yep.
Because it was close to a game store he wanted to show us. But now Scott forever thinks Korean food is bad because that one restaurant was bad, and so it's an uphill battle.
I will go again.
The best food.
I will go again.
Okay.
To be fair, I love Scott to death, but he doesn't venture out of his comfort zone for food much.
I am aware. we had an apartment in Koreatown. All he wanted to eat was Subway and Taco Bell.
It's okay. Every time I go out with him, it's like chicken tenders.
I think I finally got him to go to a burger place. I think that was a big departure from name brand establishments.
I don't remember a burger place.
I think it was because they had burgers and they also did like Korean lunch plates, so you could actually get food you could stomach, which was a burger, and I could actually get some freaking Korean food in Koreatown. But we couldn't really part ways because we were so every second of our calendar was aligned with each other.
Yep.
But anyway, if I could just real quick about Sean's comment about the focus on community, I'm gonna pat the Gaming Outsider on the back here and say, yeah, we include the audience on every single week's episode without having to have a Patreon buy-in, which I don't want to take shots. A lot of shows require you to be a patron in order to comment on their show. But I will say, before the Gaming Outsider, I had not heard a podcast use community responses so consistently. Mm-hmm. But now I hear some. Now I'm hearing a few out there. I'm just saying, quiet trendsetter.
We're not. I heard podcasts do it before we did, for sure. It's not.
I didn't really. The only ones I had before is like, yeah, as long as you're $1 level or more, we might read your comment.
See, that's dangerous to me. Like if you say pay $1, we might read your content or your question.
Nah, we'll just do it anyways.
Yeah,
not a fan.
I like to gatekeep on that kind of stuff, but that's me. CB, you're up.
Well, Thomas Bex. Congratulations. The Go gave me some amazing friends. That's the most important thing. And also gave me some good recommendation. That's a bonus.
Yep, for sure.
Well, Thomas, I miss you. And I can't wait to get back to Ireland.
I like talking to Thomas about comic books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. Not a lot of people read weekly comics. Yeah. Even though Thomas is an X-Men fan, and I apologize to him for that he has to go through that, but...
Yeah, Thomas is another community member that I pretty much talk to on a daily basis. Like, he's 6 hours ahead, so I always get messages like well before I'm awake from him. Like, so it's but it's been great becoming friends with him and getting some insight. And we've sent each other care packages. There's some things from the States that he can't get over there, and vice versa. So that's been a lot of fun. And he's been a great member of the community too, so appreciate him. And he knows Point and Click Adventures.
He does.
He has a podcast.
Yeah, he's got a podcast called the Adventure Games Podcast. If you like Point and Click adventure games, be sure to check out that show.
Hey, circle back to Sean. Thanks for writing for us.
Yes, okay. For real. He loves his racing games, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah, he's a racing correspondent for sure at this point. Mm-hmm.
Next comment comes from Brandon Lloyd, who says, I just think the hosts, old and new, are just down to earth and good people. You don't try to be overly eccentric. Don't go overboard on cuss words, if at all. I can't pinpoint it. The atmosphere you all create is just great. It's simply my favorite gaming podcast. I really would like to do a play night with you all. Just life makes my playing sporadic, and I play single player mostly. Ha. I have a lot on my friend list, just haven't actually played together. His gamer tag he wanted everyone to know was LanceX2. So if you want to game with him, be sure to check that out. He said, I need to try and conversate here more, even if I can't game with you all. Thanks so much, Brandon. I appreciate it. That's kind of the spirit of why we did this. Is I had listened to podcasts well before I started one, even the Hollywood Outsider, which I started with Aaron Peterson. Part of the reason I wanted to start a podcast is I got tired of listening to other podcasts and just hear them crapping all over everything There was no like, this game is really awesome. It was just all like, what's wrong with this game? Let's all sit and talk about what's wrong with this game. And I got so tired of it. Like I have a struggle enough as it is, getting people to look at my hobby in a positive light. And I wanted to be a part of that positive light. And that's why we started this. And that's why we included the community and made people try to be a part of it as much as possible. We used to have guests on the show regularly. And that just became kind of a logistic nightmare. Not only scheduling, but also, for Nate to record with as meticulous as he is on getting the audio to sound correctly, it just became kind of a nightmare. So maybe we'll start doing that on Patreon. Maybe that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the Desert Island Games was supposed to be in theory.
Yeah, we should do that. We should do that again. Start bringing that back. All right, Alyssa, we're back to you.
Caramel Bear, writes, I was working an overnight shift job for a grocery store while my wife was serving with the United States Air Force. Thank your wife for her service.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to work and do something other than just being at home. Anyways, I was so bored listening to the same music that I started to fiddle with podcasts. I was browsing through a few and listening to different styles, but nothing caught my attention. Then one night, I saw your podcast and booted up one episode. I'll be honest, I didn't like the older episodes and decided to skip to something more recent. Boy, did I strike gold. The chemistry you, Zack, CB, and the current Go crew was perfect for me, and so I started listening from then on to become hooked with everyone's reviews and style. This podcast has gotten me through hours of boring, repetitive work during an overnight shift to my current situation where I can freely listen to your show when I have time in the car to run some errands. It's nice to see a community of people around my age or of all ages that can appreciate this art form.
Awesome. Thank you, Caramel Bear. That means a lot. The chemistry, I think, is something that's important. Obviously CB and I have been friends for years even before we started the podcast. Zach, I've known you for a while. Alyssa, I knew you by proxy, from Sean. But we've all clicked quite a bit, and it's been pretty great. So
definitely, yeah, and I do like that. In our community, there are people 20 years younger than me and 20 years older than me, and that's
true.
We do have quite a gamut.
Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty proud of the community too. In terms of being respectful. Like, I mean, people call each other out for, hey, if we don't have to do it. We don't do a lot of moderating. You know what I mean? We used to, but we've done it so well, and we've curated such a good community that people are generally respectful, and keeping politics out of things has really helped quite a bit. So, big part of it as well. All right, Zach, you're up.
Kevin Honigford, Sonic Extraordinaire, writes in, oh man, I feel like this is going to be a 3-hour episode again. Yay! And I think he's genuine. I was pointed in a direction by an old friend, Bob Villarreal. Is that how you say Bob's name? Villarreal. He's so exotic. Wasn't even remotely into listening to podcasts or anything of the sort, so it took me a long time and a what the hell, I'll check it out before I actually gave you a listen. What nobody else knew at the time was that I was embarrassed, almost to the point of being ashamed of my love for the hobby, and particularly my love of a certain blue blur. I had been working for years in a blue-collar industry where testosterone-flooded masculinity was the socially defined hierarchy, and video games were for losers and kids. When I found you guys, I found a world I didn't know existed, a world where people embrace their love for the hobby and embrace others for the same. The positive light you shine on the hobby and the industry really resonated with me, and I finally felt like I could just be myself, where video games were a love and a joy. Now I have a designated game room surrounding me with my favorite pastime that I was too embarrassed to build before, and I'm loving it. You probably had no idea you influenced my world at all, but seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for doing what you do. Congrats on 400 and never stop. Oh, and my favorite moment by far was just last week. Scott, what are those muscles called again?
Come on, Scott. You gotta say it.
Trapezius.
No. What are they called, Scott?
I called them trapezoids. Yeah, I called them trapezoids.
Yeah, that's right.
Man, I feel so sad I wasn't part of this iconic moment.
Oh man,
I honestly think, Zach, you would have done the same thing Alyssa and I did, which was just stare at him like, "What did you just say?"
I think we said trapezoids at the same time, didn't we, CB? Like,
yeah,
in an incredulous
it was literally
tone.
just like, "What?" This beautiful moment.
Good stuff.
By the way, Kevin, I call you Sonic King in my head when I see your name. Just a little fun fact for you.
I just call him
Sonic
beautiful.
Extraordinaire.
What was that, Zach?
So that's why, I introduced him as Sonic Extraordinaire.
Yep.
It's nice. I thought I was the only person in the world that loves Sonic, but I apparently, compared to Kevin, I barely even like the guy.
Right, seriously, the dude has such a love for Sonic. I just love that we like inspired him to actually finally put together a collection or a game room. Like, he never felt comfortable doing that until he realized there were more people out there like him, which is awesome.
Hey, man, thanks.
Also,
Thanks for
Kevin,
sharing.
I'm so sorry people made you feel bad for enjoying video games and Sonic. No one should ever make anyone feel bad about their interests. And I'm glad you found your tribe now. And I'm glad you've embraced your likes because, again, you shouldn't feel ashamed for what you like.
Very true. All right, moving on, CB.
Alan Scheck writes in, started listening for Scott, kept listening for Zack. This podcast is such a good non-toxic way to catch up on video game goings on, and a good way to keep me entertained during my commute, lawn care, and other mundane activities.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And that is Alan is the listener that referred to you as the star of the show, Zach. So
He's the
Wow,
one
I mean-
where Parkinson's originated from.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think CG Moore dropped the term
Yes.
Parker's Sons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I
I'm just
appreciate. Shout out to CJ.
I'm an utter peon in both of your presence.
That's what I said. I said, are me and CB chopped liver?
Well, I mean, come on. I all my friends, like, when I point out, I'm like, yeah, you should listen to the shows. The Gaming Outsider. They pull it up on Spotify and they're like, Scott Clark.
Yeah,
like,
I do love that
Yeah,
he's the artist.
That's why we're just the Gaming
Oh my
Outsider.
God, I will change that tomorrow. Jesus.
Just change it.
No.
To the goat.
No, you can't change it.
Yeah, we'll all jump ship if you change it. Don't you dare.
Yeah,
It's
they're
important
the
that-
Gaming Outsider. I'm just the period at the end.
I didn't even know that was still a thing. That was just like when I created the iTunes account or whatever, like 8 years ago. I just put a name. It just needed a name on there. It wasn't like.
It's still funny
Yeah,
to this day.
I should change it to Nate Lucas. He's the real magic behind the curtain. But
You know, I know we still have a couple comments to go, but I'm appreciative of the comments because I felt really down on. I feel like I've been so negative about the games industry lately, but it's nice that people still view our show as positive because I feel like when we actually talk about the games, I feel like our love and passion for the industry still comes through.
yeah, I agree.
It's just like, I know PlayStation can do better, so I am upset at their current nonsense.
Well, I mean, just give it time, man. It'll flip around like it does.
That's
So.
exactly
Yeah.
right.
You'll
Yeah.
be mad at Xbox again in no time. So don't worry about it. Once they get up back on top, it'll be. Anyway, next comment comes from Mark Zemansky. The interaction of the crew, the knowledge of games, the clear love of video games in general. These are the things that made me a fan and keeps me coming back. Your interaction with the community along with the community itself is an added bonus. My best memory is still winning Mario Tennis. At the time, I didn't own a Switch, but after winning the game, well, I had to go out and buy one. It's my favorite system to play right now. Thank you, Grow Crew, for your show. Yes, Mark won a copy of Mario Tennis from our monthly giveaway and went out and bought a Switch because of it. And now that's awesome. That's like his favorite place to play. I love stories like that.
Still waiting on my royalties from Nintendo for that one.
Right. Can you guys hook us up with some, review copies of games so we can...
Nintendo's not playing ball with the press.
Man, they're a tough nut to crack. I cannot crack that nut to save my life. All right, Alyssa.
Okay. Jacob Gunderson writes, I know I'm relatively new to the community and don't always listen or talk, but I will always love and support what you guys do for games and the people who truly enjoy them. I just love listening to Scott and the Gaming Outsider, LOL.
Yes, Jacob.
Oh, look, CB, he put the period there. He acknowledged it.
And we did, Jacob is actually in our D&D group as well. He plays our orc that was raised by horses. And
He's afraid of radishes.
He's afraid of radishes. That's a whole weird thing. But anyway. CB, you're up.
All right, Paul Hine. I'm relatively new to the community and the podcast. I was introduced to Scott from my friend Brian.
Brian Regals.
Oh, yeah. Props, Brian Regals. To actually order some custom face masks. Logo not video game related, but gracious enough to do them anyway. During the late unpleasantness. Started listening after that and have been eagerly awaiting Thursday afternoons ever since. listening to the love of all things video games, regardless of platforms, except maybe PC. Always is a highlight to my week. The banter between you all reminds me of conversations I would have with my friends in time past. Thanks for keeping the flame alive. Here's to 400 more episodes and 2 more community events. Evil Dead Weekend, anybody? Dude, you got a deal.
I'm pretty sure
that
Steve would
sounds-
play. And Zach, you
That
both
sounds
are on it.
pretty groovy.
I'm
No, I mean, I
ready
love Evil
now
Dead,
that
yeah.
summer is
Absolutely.
here. I am ready to bring back some community game nights. So yeah, let's, especially with TMNT coming, and we have 6 people. Is that online as well?
I don't know, but I'm going to look into it. I think it might be, though.
If
I
that's
would be
not,
shocked if not.
you're sure it's not?
Because it's like, no, I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, okay.
I would be shocked if it's
I'd
not.
be
Sorry,
very
'cause it's-
shocked if it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with it being on Game Pass, it's just like such an easier barrier to entry and stuff.
Yeah.
It just would be silly if it wasn't
I mean, think like
on Game Pass.
6 people. That's just like an easy. I don't even care what character I am. Just put me in and let's all play together, have some fun.
Well, in that case, I'll play Leo.
Oh no! I've already called dibs on Leo.
So Scott's
you
April O'Neil now.
Hey, I'll play as April. I mean,
All right. Next up is CJ Moore. The best podcasts are the ones where I feel like I'm hanging out with the hosts, and the GoCast absolutely checks that box. The Go-munity. Wow, we've never used that before. Go-munity.
I like it.
Community is also one where I feel welcomed and involved and cared for. Moments I especially enjoyed include hearing about CB's involvement in New York during the pandemic and riding along his collector's journey, savoring every glimpse into Zack's story and reading his creative and enlightening reviews and editorials, Alyssa sharing about Japanese culture and a whole side of video games I've never understood before, and that one time Scott broke his Instant Pot by trying to cook in it without the pot. I kid, Scott makes an easy target because he's so obviously a great guy, and the Go deserves a face with all of the charisma of a level 20 half-elf bard, and Scott is that half-elf 100%. I absolutely love the Gaming Outsider, and I look forward to the next 400 episodes. Thank you, CJ. CJ is one of the funniest dudes to interact with, too, by the way. If you've ever played online with him, he likes to just start singing show tunes with Christina randomly, and he's just one of the wittiest. CB, I don't know if you've ever like hung out with him. He knows movie quotes like you and I do, where like you just say something and he knows exactly where it's from, and it fits into the conversation. He's a ton of fun. So thank you,
Yeah.
CJ, for being there and for sticking around for as long as you have.
It's funny, though, that he does call you out on being the half-elf.
Because I am a half elf, but I'm a half elf ranger.
Yeah, I'm the bard.
You are a bard. Yeah, he's got like a half a deck of cards for his spells. But anyway, Alyssa,
Scott's a golden retriever.
You're not wrong.
I'm a golden retriever.
Yeah, you're like an anthropomorphized golden retriever.
Wow, I've never been called that before. Thank you.
Well, you are very adorable, Scott.
Aw.
Okay, Tim Thane like Mass Effect. That's how I remember. I feel very lucky to have found this pod, especially since I discovered you in such a weird way. I was listening to a pod called Another Zelda Podcast,
Hey.
and they had on, as a guest, one of the Cartridge Bros from the pod Cartridge Club. So I started listening to that. Then someone from the Gaming Outsider was on Cartridge Club. I assume Scott, but I don't remember. So then I started listening to you guys. I remember one of my first episodes was right after you had put on R2V2 and you were talking about it. I thought it was so cool that this podcast I'd never heard of put on their own video game convention. I come back week to week because this feels like a family, it feels like hanging out with friends, and it helped me legitimize my favorite hobby into something that feels more serious. I went from being a one console guy only to now owning and enjoying the main 3, plus a Wii U and 3DS for some of the older titles and VC options I missed out on. Keep doing what you're doing. You've got a fan and listener for the next 400, or for as long as you all are willing to do this.
Oh, that comment. That was awesome. Tim, thank you so much. And he like recently joined the Discord community. I hadn't actually like really interacted with him much until that, but he's been listening for quite a while. That was awesome. And what a weird way to get there. That just shows you that like being guests on other podcasts, who knows? And
So wait, was it you on the Cartridge Club then?
I think so. That was a long time ago.
Okay.
I was about to say the only other one that I've been on was that what was it, Game Grump? Not
Game Grumps, yeah.
Yeah, Game Grumps.
Yeah, so it definitely was me.
Yeah, I can safely cross myself out because I am not a male, and I have not been on
Right.
those podcasts.
Yeah,
So
Cartridge Club, they put on a pretty fun podcast where they basically do like a book club, but it's on a video game instead of a book. At least that's when I was on that episode, and that was a lot of fun. So, but another Zelda podcast is another friend of ours, David Geisler. We've met him at what's
Midwest Gaming Classic and Video Game Summit.
Video Game Summit is the one that I think of, and I think he came and talked to us a couple times. He's a great guy. It's weird that he mentions that podcast because we know him as well. He's actually in the Chicago area, so small world. And the Cartridge Club guys are in Canada, I think. And didn't we run into those guys at Midwest Gaming Classic one year as well?
I think so. We've run into quite a few people there.
Yeah, it's hard to keep them straight, but I don't know. I just love that his comment that talked about it being like family and you know, I don't know, just like legitimizing the hobby. That's why I wanted to do this, is because I always wanted a place that made what I love to do so much like have a purpose and make other people feel like that it's okay to be as nerdy about what we do as we are. So very cool. Very cool. Zach, I think we have one more.
From Twitter,
Mhm.
Aaron Peterson at Aaron Smirks of the Smirk Podcast, of course.
And the Hollywood
writes for
Outsider
your-
podcast. Come on.
You know, I guess. Shout out to Remake This Movie Right. Anyway, podcaster extraordinaire Aaron Peterson writes for your question in regards to us asking your thoughts. He said it has brought numerous games into my field of vision I would have otherwise ignored, and it's from the perspective of fun instead of looking for things to crap on. Yeah,
Pretty much. That's
thanks.
why we did it. That's why we started it.
What I love about Aaron is if he hears about a game on our show, he'll ask us 20 additional questions about it
It's true.
before he'll decide to play it or not.
And what's funny is whenever he asks me, he'll text me and ask me about a game. I know he's asking you as well, because
definitely.
you understand his taste better than I do, I think, which is funny. So like it's just one of those things. Like I know whenever he asks me a question about a game, that he's asking you at the exact same time.
Yeah, well, I don't know if either one of us knows tastes better or not. It's just he really wants this full view before he
wants it
takes a
triangulated.
plunge. Yeah, which really is just like, just ask the question you really want, Aaron. Can you beat it in 10 hours or less? That's really what you want to know.
That's the true question. Can I have a short experience with this game? That's really what's important to Aaron. So we love you, man. All right. Well, thank you everybody who wrote in. Sincerely, and I mean this sincerely, it's been kind of a rough couple months for me, and I've really had to push myself to keep going, and I feel like I needed this celebration episode. So I hope nobody took this episode badly as a way for us to pat ourselves on the back or anything, but I feel like I needed that jolt of positivity to keep me going and get through the end of my school year and some other personal stuff. So thank you very much for listening to us for as long as you have, and I appreciate each and every one of you, everybody that I've interacted with, and hopefully we've developed a good community for you. And here's to 400 more, guys.
Yeah.
Or so.
Otherwise, the slap bet's coming.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, I have to have something that I'm confident in enough that
you can just slap CB.
yeah.
Well, see, now you have to make another 400 episodes with me.
Is that what the slap
Otherwise-
bet is? Whether or not we
Yep.
make it to 800?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'll just make it to 799, and then I'll just be like, pull the plug, done.
Oh, then the hand's coming.
Yeah, you're getting slapped. Yeah, it's in your best interest to keep it going.
Is that what it is? If we make
Yeah.
it to 800 episodes, then
Then you're fine.
Well,
oh,
doesn't he get to slap you?
Oh yeah, if we make it to 800, yeah, you can go ahead and crack me one.
is that what the slap bet is now? If we make it,
Sure.
dude, there's no way we're gonna make it to 800 episodes.
Well, that's not very
Just-
positive.
I'm being positive here, sir. We're here. We're in
We'll
it to
be
win it.
streaming games to
Yeah.
our TVs and talking about them
Okay,
here.
so is that gonna be our slap bet? Our first
That is our official slap bet.
If we make it to 800 episodes, then you win the slap bet. If we give up before then I win
I'm
the slap
slapping
bet.
you.
No, I get to slap you.
No. If we give up before then, I'm slapping you. If we make it to 800, you're slapping me.
Oh, so this is a motivation for me to keep going until 800.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang it.
It's written in stone now.
I got two witnesses here.
Oh my God, that's a tall order.
Well, he really doesn't like getting hit, this guy.
I don't, dude. Have you seen the size of his mitts? Like,
No, yeah, of course. It's just.
plus he's got.
Were you an only child? Is that right?
No, I got a half brother,
Oh.
but he was younger.
I was gonna say, surely you guys must have beaten the crap out
No,
of each other.
never
growing up.
once.
Oh.
Half a time, almost one
I
time.
was gonna say,
Half
me
a
and my
time.
brothers, me and my brothers routinely almost accidentally committed manslaughter.
Oh yeah, no, we were not super physical growing up, but
Yeah.
anyway, next week's topic has yet to be determined, so stay tuned to the socials, Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. We will get that posted up in the near future. Thank you so much for listening. That's going to do it for this 400th episode of The Gaming Outsider. Zach, do you have any parting words or recommendations before we check out for the night?
Just, hey, The Boys season 3 is great.
Isn't it?
Firing on all cylinders. So good. I can't believe some of the stuff that's happening.
That first episode.
I mean, yeah, or this most recent fourth one.
I haven't got caught up yet, but
It's real good.
Yeah, you're gonna love their murder weapon of choice.
yeah.
It's a great show, absolutely. But really, just thanks to everybody for listening. I have a hard time being vulnerable or emotional or whatever, but thanks for all the nice things you said.
Yeah, we do appreciate it. CB, how about you?
Well, yeah, I'd like to follow up on that. Thank you all for being fantastic human beings. If anybody out there ever needs to talk to somebody or anything like that, just you can hit me up on any of the socials, Facebook. I mean, worst comes to worst. I mean, if you even need my cell phone number, I'm always out there to just chat and talk with people. So
Awesome. Alyssa, how about you?
I did watch a movie with my dad over the weekend, which you guys might have already seen it. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
no, I haven't seen it yet, and I need to see it.
It's best to go in blind. I did not see the trailer or anything, and I love this movie. My dad loved it. It's Nicolas Cage portraying Nick Cage, and he really is looking for another job, and he just can't get one. So Pedro Pascal's character offers him $1 million to come to his birthday party because he's a huge Nicolas Cage fan. And from there, things just go off the wires. And me and my dad were laughing the entire time. It was just a lovely experience, and it was so much better than I thought it was going to be, and it's really worth checking out. That's all I'm going to tell you about it. You need to see it for yourself. It is rated R, so be wary of that. But it was a lovely bonding experience with my dad. And also just wanted to say to all the listeners, thank you. I know I'm like I said, the newbie, but thanks for listening. Thanks for your support and all the nice things you said. I mean, even just saying it to the guys made my heart feel all warm and fuzzy because I love these guys, and to have you say nice things to them just makes me happy. And like CB said, if you ever want to, talk to someone, you can contact me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord. Just let me know. I am a little shy at first, but just be like,
she's
hey,
a lot of
hey,
fun to
Alyssa,
talk to.
I'll be your friend. I'll say nice things to you.
And if you send her pictures
I'll
of
listen.
your cats, she'll love you forever.
Yes. Scott sends me pictures of cats recently. I don't know why I said that. All the time. Pretty much. And I love him for that.
Yeah.
So if you want to send me cat pictures, feel free to.
There
I will
you
not
go.
be mad.
You just need to start a thing on Twitter. It's like, send me pictures of cats, and then you'll be happy.
I'll rate your cat.
There you go.
They're all perfect.
Yeah, they'll all be 10s.
Yeah.
As for me, I got two quick ones. The first one is, before the announcement of the Aliens games came with the showcases and everything this week, I decided to go back to the beginning and start the Alien franchise from start to finish again, and I made it all the way through Resurrection, which is such a weird movie that I love for some reason. But I wound up going back to Prometheus, which is a movie that I hated the first time I saw it. I think it was because I was so hyped for it to be something that it wasn't. And after going back and watching it again, I have such a deeper appreciation for that movie. If you go into that movie with an understanding that this is not necessarily an origin story to the original Alien movie and just take it for it as a story about humanity meeting its creator, it's a fascinating film. Like, I feel like that movie got unnecessarily crapped on because of expectations. So,
Well, it's not. I wouldn't say unnecessarily. The marketing tried to make it sound like one thing when it was really another.
right. I'm saying it's not the movie's fault, though. It's not
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
Ridley Scott's fault. Like, he had a vision of what he was going to do.
Hey, nothing's Ridley Scott's fault.
What's that?
He said nothing's Ridley Scott's fault.
Exactly. So,
To be fair, go on YouTube and watch the original speech that David had with the engineer.
okay.
It changes that movie wildly.
Okay. I'm interested. I'm going to have to go do that after we're done here. So yeah, give Prometheus another shot, because I feel like now that movie is as old as it is, and going back with fresh eyes and just looking at it as a movie instead of a prequel movie, I have a greater appreciation for that film. So give it another shot. The other thing is just want to help out Grant Henry here because I think it's awesome anyway. He released a new track on Bandcamp called Singularity, which I highly recommend everybody check out. It was actually in the closing credits to the Devolver Digital showcase that they did this past week. And it has a very never-ending story theme song vibe to it. So if you get a chance, check it out. And if you feel like helping him out, because he is full-time musician now, maybe purchase the track or some other tracks from him, throw a couple dollars his way to help him out, because he does some fantastic stuff, and this song is really great. So, again, Grant Henry, you can find his Bandcamp page. I'll get that in the show notes for you as well. Or you can just go to stemagemusic.com, STEMAGEMUSIC.com, and he does all the music for this episode as well. But thank you so much for listening. The Gaming Outsider is produced by Nate Lucas. We really appreciate all the work that he does as well. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Zack Parkerson, Chris Behrensmeyer, and Alyssa White, and we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.